Cunningham, WTIC 1080 News.
And you can proclaim Connecticut's superiority in pizza right on your car. There's a limited batch of pizza-themed license plates. It's the idea of New Haven pizza guru Colin Kaplan. He says the plate displays a slice of pepperoni pizza and the logo of a charity.
Then you've got Connecticut Food Share's logo, so that people can actually, read that and say, okay, I wonder what that is, and hopefully find out, donate, help out, volunteer. Finally, on the bottom, it says the pizza state. There's a big line. Instead of Constitution State, it's the pizza state.
Now, Cohen doesn't mind at all if New Yorkers take exception to the pizza state claim. The plates are $75 or $145 for a vanity plate. You can get them at tasteofnewhaven.com and click pizza license plate. Link to our Twitter feed on at WTIC 1080 as well. WTIC News Time is coming up on 3:05 from the WTIC 24-hour traffic network. Got a crash working in Waterbury. Two-vehicle crash westbound 84 between exits 22 and 21. That has the left lane blocked. We still have 275 in Coventry closed between School Street and Old Eagleville Road. They had an earlier one-vehicle crash out there. Let's check in with meteorologist Bob Cox. He has the WTIC Weather Center forecast.
It remains dry out there this afternoon, and with enough sun, we could see some parts of the area flirting with 60 degrees. Tonight, it becomes mostly cloudy with areas of fog forming and a low around 40. Well, start out with some morning clouds Saturday into areas of fog. That will tend to break up a bit and mix in with some sun. Highs in the 50s, possibly up around 60 with enough sunshine in parts of the area. Then Saturday night, clouds take over once again. Areas of fog redevelop. There could be a scattered shower or some spotty drizzle around, lows 45 to 50. We start out gray Sunday with clouds, areas of fog, and spotty drizzle. It remains generally cloudy through the day. A couple of scattered showers are possible. We'll have an increasing south wind that could potentially be gusting to 40 miles an hour or higher by later in the day into Sunday evening. That's going to push high temperatures into the 60s. And then a band of rain comes through Sunday night and tapers off Monday morning. Rainfall amounts could exceed an inch, but whether that's going to be widespread across the state or the heavier rain stays to the south and east of Hartford, that's still a question mark at this point. And then we dry out Monday afternoon, temperatures trending down through the 50s, mostly sunny Tuesday, the high around 60. I'm meteorologist Bob Cox in the WTIC Weather Center.
58, partly sunny right now in Hartford. Wall Street, markets continue their upward climb this Friday. The Dow ahead 639 points. NASDAQ's up 426, and the S&P is up 109 points. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. It is 3:07. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
A masterpiece shrouded in mystery, a final work left unfinished, and a performance you won't want to miss. Join the Hartford Symphony Orchestra and Hartford Chorale at the Bushnell, March 14th through the 16th for Mozart's Requiem, a powerful...
Check 1, 2, 3, 4.
Captivated audiences for centuries. Led by guest
Yo,
director
yo, yo,
Jackie
yo, yo.
Anthony Pott, this unforgettable program also...
What up, Doc?
By Hayden and Martinez. Tickets start as low as $10 for
Waiting
students.
for it all
Call
to come tumbling down. They closed the business today.
Or visit
At least my end.
Every sandwich
I
has
sold
bread.
it off.
Everything.
Okay.
So I just
The
handed it
bun,
over today.
But these warm, golden,
Michael,
smooth
what's up,
steam
baby?
buns,
Hopefully you made some bread off of it.
reserved for the very
It was
best.
all right. It made,
The
it
filet
made
of
good
fish.
money.
And you.
I'm just
You
glad.
can have them too.
And
feel
you
like
can
I
have it
retired
all
today.
at 2 for $6, like a Filet-O-Fish.
Hey, retiring at 55, a great thing.
Large fries. Limited time only. Price and participation.
You're not all old and wrinkled up yet.
At regular price.
That's a matter of
If your air
opinion, my
conditioner
friend.
and furnace are over 10 years old, they've pretty much gone to the dogs. But at
1 minute.
we can fetch you a free furnace with our 2-for deal. For a limited time, when you purchase a new air conditioning system, you receive a free furnace. We also offer free, no-obligation estimates for these new systems. Call, click, or text and say hello, ALO. Call for details. Licensed for safety. P102776688, D10401465, D11855643, S33086999, HIC 628926, SM30044646, HOD 635, HOD 223.
For a limited time at Verizon, you can get our best price ever for a single line. Just $45 per month when you bring your phone, which is less than you spend on Too Tired to Cook takeout every week. Get one line on Unlimited Welcome for $45 per month with AutoPay plus taxes and fees. Visit your local Hartford Verizon store by April 2nd to save. $20 month.
Minton.
Applied over 36 months with a new line on unlimited roaming. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Additional terms apply.
Hey, shh. Calm down. The show is about to start. Reese on the radio. Turn it up. Turn it up loud. Turn it up loud.
It's like a dream come true.
Turn on your radio. Reese on the radio.
Yo, let's get it.
Due to the nature of this program, discretion does not exist. It's Reese on the radio. Right now on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Oh, and it's Friday. All of you should be excited that the weekend is coming. I'm kidding. I'm hating this. This is whack. This is corny. I've got two very somber stories to tell you. One that's relatable with the current news cycle. But first, I want to just start off by saying today was my official last day at my company, Keep It Moving, which was a part of my life for a little more than 5.5 years. A business I started out of nowhere. I lost the job and I was struggling. I was going through a divorce, and at the same time, I was getting sober. And while the same year I got sober was the same year I started Keep It Moving, and it's been a whirlwind ever since. My life has changed. 2 years after I started the business, I met my wife. We've been married ever since, and it's been a hell of a ride. Bought a house together. I mean, that company allowed me to buy a house. I'd never done that before. And again, being the person that I am, where I come from, a homeless kid, kicked out of their house at 15 years old, living on the streets for 3 years, dropping out of high school, welfare kid from the hood, to out of nowhere, 50 years old, get sober, start a business, get married again, be in love with the woman I wish I'd met legions before. It's an amazing story. And to now, officially, with the exception of this broadcast, to kind of be retired at 55. And there's a part of me that's sad. I've always worked. Tomorrow, Saturday, will be the first Saturday I've taken off in 20 years. I will not be going to work on a Saturday. I couldn't imagine. I'm sure I've had Saturdays off, but not like regularly. Like tomorrow is the beginning of the first Saturday for the rest of my life. And again, while all of that is happening, as I hand the keys off to the new guy who's taking over, I'm handing those keys over, I'm getting in my car, and there's one part of me that's just saying, you know what, I don't have to get up early in the morning tomorrow. I can relax. I can perhaps sleep in, drink some coffee, watch some morning news with my wife, who's probably going to hug me and smother me because I'm finally home, because that's all she ever wanted. But I can't look at tomorrow without looking at the past. And if I can, I kind of want to tell you a personal story. I read the affidavit yesterday for this 32-year-old man who has been kept in captivity for 20 years. And I had to look at that story through the lens of my own life because I couldn't possibly understand what he went through for 20 years. We have this saying in sobriety. I walked into the rooms without any shoes, and I met a man with no feet. Perspective. And I read this long, lengthy affidavit of what the police witnessed, what the victim told them. All of it was just so daunting, over and over and over again. I kept feeling for this young man and was recognizing how tragic this was. And you kind of get a sense of what he was going through. There's this one part in the affidavit where he's allowed out of his room and he's forced to do chores, sometimes for an hour. Otherwise, he would be out for 22 hours, but just doing chores. And one time while he was out there, he saw a gun. And in that moment that he saw the gun, his thought was not to grab it and use it to save himself, but it put him in a situation where he was even more fearful for his life. He was scared to death. While I'm listening to reading, I should say, all of this, over and over again, I keep looking back on my own life, the things that I had to deal with. Yeah, it sucked being homeless. Yeah, it sucked sleeping on staircases. It was awful. I couldn't imagine doing what he had to do in order to stay alive. Urinating inside of a room, defecating into newspapers, and then only being allowed to discard them every day the next day when he was forced to do chores around the house. That's how he was living. Looking outside of his window, counting cars. Just to, alleviate his mind wandering. Solitary confinement, that's what it was. Worst off is finding out that other members of the family knew. His father, who since passed, knew he was being locked up in his room. According to the affidavit, that young man was also allowed to come outside of the room with the father sometimes and watch television. Police officer who took his statement said that after his father died, his treatment got worse. As you can imagine, think evil stepmother on steroids. If you haven't read it and you can find a way to, it's worth the read. Perspective. The other part about this story that was personal to me is the DCF angle. When I was growing up as a kid, we had what's called the Bureau of Child Welfare, famously known as BCW. My mom was very abusive. Oh, abusive. I could tell you stories. I remember one time when my brother got in trouble and my mother had tied him to a high stool, tied him to it with his hands to his side while she took a switch from outside and she beat him for an hour and a half. It was like torture in my house. I remember times when my mom would beat me with a 2x4. And she beat me on every part of my body as I tried to resist. That piece of wood, we're talking a 2x4 piece of wood, would cut my flesh, leaving me bleeding. And she didn't care. She sent me off to school the next day. Welts all over my arm, scabs forming. It was everywhere. Trying to find a long sleeve shirt on a hot summer day, trying to cover it up, but she wouldn't let me. She wanted my scars to be seen by everyone. It was like she wanted to display her work. My teachers saw it. So did the students. So did the vice principal. So did the principal. As we walked through the hallways in the 5th grade, not one person called BCW. Ever. No teacher ever grabbed me aside and said, "Are you okay?" Never. My best friend at the time, he knew. Never once made a phone call to BCW. That's what I completely identified with this young man. I identified with that because the entire time he's there, he's saying to himself, there's nobody coming for me. No one. Not even my own family. You know he had sisters, right? Or a sister. From what I understand in the affidavit, that after the firefighters and the police arrived, the mother was seen with the sister and her husband or boyfriend. They clearly knew. Turns out an uncle who visited him in the hospital when he was finally saved, he was the one who said that he looked like a Holocaust survivor. He had tried extensively to find out if there was a death certificate in the boy's name because he didn't believe that he had survived. They'd never seen him. He was missing. The uncle had kind of lost favor with the family, and they cut him off for a little more than 10 years. But he always worried about what happened to that young boy. Couldn't get any answers, and clearly no one was looking, even though DCF knew about him, even though DCF had visited the home at least twice. The only reason why DCF knew about him was because the young child was starving when he got to school. He would eat his own lunch and then ask other people in the class for their lunch. And when he didn't get lucky there, he would eat out of the garbage inside school. He was so hungry. And because people dropped the ball, he spent 20 years in captivity. In the hands of the people he was supposed to trust, who was supposed to love him. And now he sits at 68 pounds, all skin and bones. I know people want to blame DCF. DCF is way out of the fold now. Forget about them. They're over. That institution needs to be overhauled worse than ever. Not that I think that anybody here is going to do anything about it. I don't expect William Tong to be beating down the doors of DCF and looking at their records to find out where they're dropping the ball. I don't expect it. Your children are not safe here. Sorry, folks. I apologize. They're not safe here. DCF don't care. William Tong don't care. Governor Lamont don't care. He just recently said DCF is doing a good job. Have we gone 2 weeks without them being in the news? Have we? No. Every year is something new. How many kids got to fall out windows? How many girls got to get pregnant by their foster fathers? How many kids we're going to find out have been locked up for 20 years? Gosh, it can't be the only one. It can't be. And I don't know what DCF's problem is. Are they overstaffed? Understaffed and overburdened? If that's a problem, we've got a bigger issue, which is, by the way, the question of the day. What do you think DCF's problem is? Understaffed, overburdened, or just horrible at their job? If you've worked for DCF, I'd love to hear from you. Give us an inside track, because this can't, excuse me, this is unsustainable. Excuse me for getting choked up here. But this is bad. I don't know exactly how, excuse my voice. This comes from eating way too many grapes. I got to work on that. Anyway, I'm back. I want to go into some of the affidavit today. I'm going to try to read the stuff that's the least grotesque and the least horrible. There was one saving grace in reading that affidavit that I found amazing. Because, if you really think about it, Here's a boy no one was looking for, with the exception of the uncle. But here's a boy no one was looking for, and the family knew was there. They had him doing everything for 20 years, from the time when he was 11, 12, 13 years old until he's now 32. They had him in their clutches. They could do anything they want. And you know what was the one saving grace in all of this? He told the police officers he was never once beaten. He had one spanking in his life, but that was it. No one ever beat him. No one ever sexually abused him. Nothing like that went on. That's not a great thing. I'm not trying to find a silver lining in all of this. I just find that stunning, which makes all of this even crazier. They just had him in the house doing chores. They just had him in the house locked in his room. What threat was he? Or what was he there for? You can't help but ask. Talking to him, police officers still have no answers as to why it was done. And to hear the lawyer for Sullivan, the woman who kept him captive, say that we've got this all wrong, then what the hell do we have then? The police officers said they were talking to him, and his cognitive skills were that of a child at 32. Not a stitch of development. On a lighter note, can I tell you what the irony in all of this is? The reason why he was discovered, you may know, was because he set a fire in his room. And first responders came there and responded, and that's how they located him. In reading the affidavit, they managed to put one little thing in there that made me smile. He talked about the last time he had gone trick-or-treating. It was around, I guess, 11 or 12 years old. His costume was a firefighter. I don't know why it was even in there, but when I read it, I cried. I could not, I was just like, it's the reason why I know God exists. For moments like that, just a little elbow at you, it just makes you go, holy crap. A firefighter. I don't even know that it had no relevance to what he had gone through, but he had remembered that. The last time he went trick-or-treating, he dressed as a firefighter. And sure enough, the person who saved his life was a firefighter. Can't get better than that. Can't get better than that. Get on the phones, 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. What do you think the problem is with DCF? This isn't a DCF problem. Clearly the woman, this Sullivan woman, she's responsible for this. But there were some avenues that he could have been saved. What do you think DCF is the problem? Are they overburdened? Are they understaffed? Or are they just horrible at their job? Just your opinion. If you work with DCF, let me know. I'd love to hear from you, too, if you used to work in that program in any capacity. Hell, any capacity with DCF. Give me a holler. All right? It's Reese on the Radio. We'll be back. It's News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Don't let a root canal scare you. Columbia Dental's endodontic experts provide gentle and effective root canal therapy. Open 7 days a week. Call 860-645-0111 or visit columbiadental.com.
Hi, this is Eric Hogarth from Money Wisdom. Tune in this week and every week to learn more about how to strengthen your portfolio or how to create a 5-star retirement plan. Tune in to Money Wisdom Saturdays at 8:30 on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Ever feel like there aren't enough hours in the day? If you get busy or miss your favorite show, don't worry. With Rewind, available exclusively on the free Odyssey app, you can stream your favorite shows on demand. You know your day is better with us. Get the news that matters to you from the local voices you trust. No matter what you're up to, give it a try. To get started, download the free Odyssey app and search for your station. That's AUDACY.
Honey, is our car still under warranty?
No, not anymore.
My sister just got an extended service plan from Ox Car Care.
Ox Car Care?
Yeah, Ox will cover our repair bills if anything happens to our car, new brakes, a transmission, AC, or engine problems. Plus, Ox Car Care offers free oil changes, tire rotation, and roadside assistance.
Wait a minute, we pay nothing on the repairs? Ox gets it fixed for us? Free oil changes, free tire rotation, and free roadside assistance? What's the number?
800-234-2716. Ox has a 30-day money-back guarantee and an A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau. They handle their claims from start to finish, unlike other warranty companies. We should call now, 800-234-2716.
The last thing we need is an unexpected car repair bill. I'm calling Ox Car Care now.
Call Ox Car Care for your free quote. 800-234-2716. Ask about senior and military discounts. Don't get stuck with a major car repair bill. Call Ox Car Care, 800-234-2716, or go to oxcarcare.com.
And now, a WTIC news update.
3:30 Hartford temperature 59 degrees. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. The attorney for a woman accused of holding her now adult stepson in their Waterbury home for decades says his client is innocent. Meantime, the now 32-year-old man is receiving medical and dental care. He weighed only 68 pounds when he was pulled from his burning home last month, a fire he told authorities he deliberately set as a means to escape. Senate nearing a key test vote as lawmakers work to avoid a partial government shutdown with just hours to spare. At least 8 Democrats will need to join Republicans to get to a 60-vote threshold. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer has already said he would vote for the package. State's Department of Labor has released its 2024 year-end jobs report showing 16,000 jobs added to the rolls between December of 23 and last December 24. Man remains in the hospital after he was injured in a motorcycle crash Thursday in Berlin. Officers say 34-year-old Christopher Paul of Middletown was seriously injured in the crash at Farmington Avenue in Lower Lane. Norwich man under arrest on home invasion charges. They say Ronnie Hinton is facing charges from that October invasion. Police say that Hinton has a long history of violence and was released from prison in 2023 after serving 23 years for murder. WTIC News Time is 3:31. Let's check the forecast.
Nice and mild for the rest of this afternoon with plenty of sunshine. We'll head up to a high temperature of 62 degrees and clear to partly cloudy this evening, followed by late night low clouds expanding into the region. We'll have a low of 42. Clouds will be breaking up for some sunshine tomorrow. Another mild day out there with a high of 59. Still mild tomorrow night with plenty of clouds. Low temperature tomorrow night down to 49 as we head into Sunday, turning out rather cloudy, windy, and warm. There will be a shower in a few spots, high of 64, then rain and even a heavy thunderstorm can occur Sunday night as a potent storm moves through the region. And as we head into Monday, rain will continue at times in the morning. Otherwise cloudy and drying out for the afternoon hours. High temperature on Monday up to 59. Sunny and pleasant on Tuesday as high pressure builds overhead. High Tuesday 57, then turning out mild on Wednesday with a mixture of clouds and sunshine with a high Wednesday of 63. This is meteorologist Isaac Longley in the WTIC Weather Center.
From the WTIC 24-hour traffic network, a couple of issues out here on this Friday afternoon. Still working a crash in Waterbury, 84 West between exits 22 and 21. That's got the left lane blocked. And down in Middletown, 91 northbound between exits 20 and 21. Left lane is taken out due to a 3-vehicle crash. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Looking for the best ways to prepare for retirement this year? Then be sure to tune in to Johnson Brunetti's Money Wisdom tomorrow morning at 8:30 a.m. right here on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Men, this is Dale for Northeast Men's Health. The one you love is the light of your life. And if you're like most of us, you want to do whatever you can to nurture your relationship. But if you're suffering with erectile dysfunction, you know the impacts the condition is likely having on you and on your partner. ED is a relationship destroyer. It can contribute to depression, distancing, conflicts, even breakups and divorce. And what's so disturbing about this is that most men who suffer with ED can be successfully treated, but a lot of guys don't seek treatment when they should. At Northeast Men's Health, we have protocols that are effective in well over 90% of cases. In fact, if you're like most guys, you could be having great sex within a day or two of your first appointment, and maybe find you're performing like you haven't in a long time. So call Northeast Men's Health today. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956 or go to northeastmenshealth.com. We have 5 offices in the Northeast to serve you. Northeast Men's Health, a Promenic restorative health practice.
Welcome to the new era of excellence at Amberwoods of Farmington. We're thrilled to announce that our transformative renovations are now complete, and we've truly taken it to the next level for our residents. Discover our stunning new spaces and indulge in 5-star amenities that redefine comfort and care. This is not the same Amberwoods you knew. Call us today at 860-677-1671 or visit amberwoodsof.com to schedule a tour and witness the remarkable changes at Amberwoods. We can't wait to welcome you.
Don't wait for a breakdown to start thinking about your HVAC system. For a limited time, call the Bee and get your heating or cooling tune-up for as low as $99. A professional HVAC tune-up keeps your system running efficiently, helps prevent costly repairs, and ensures you stay covered under your manufacturer warranty. Visit callthebee.com. That's call the letter B.com to schedule a tune-up for as low as $99. Call the Bee, Connecticut plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical professionals. Call the Bee. We'll be there and we'll be fair.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? Yikes. When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Here's how to get the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Plans start at just $20 a month, and that's not a short-term promo. Our US-based experts will get you switched and saving in about 20 minutes. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you, and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for autopay and e-billing.
Welcome to Staples.
I hear Staples prints it all for any business.
You bet, and we'll beat any print quote.
So if I had a pizza place...
Staples can print signs, menus, pizza boxes.
A landscaping business?
Oh, we can print yard signs, t-shirts, brochures.
How about a pizza/landscaping business?
Johnny Beckman.
I'll call it Dough and Mow.
I like it.
Thank you,
right
Ben.
Now at Staples, get up to $250 off your print purchase. Ends 4/5 exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for offer details. Price match guarantee valid in store and staples.com/print. Visit staples.com/price match for details.
Celebrate twice as much with NordVPN's birthday deal. Get 72% off and a coupon for up to 1 year free. Visit NordVPN and discover the benefits. Secure up to 10 devices with a single account. Encrypt your online traffic. Reduce the risk of phishing, scams, and malware with NordVPN's Threat Protection Pro. Get the special birthday deal at nordvpn.com. Additional terms apply. NordVPN.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog
Probably
that
with
was
the
going to
daughter.
unclog itself.
Beckman.
Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
Every sandwich,
1 minute.
every burger has
Thank
a
you.
bun, but these warm, golden, smooth steam buns, these are special. Reserved for the very best. The Filet-O-Fish. And you can have them too.
And you can have it all at 2 for $6, like a Filet-O-Fish, Big Mac, 10-piece McNuggets, or large fries. Limited time only. Price and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with
Brian
any other
Cox
offer.
got
Single
paid.
item at regular price.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
There's a lot on the line in a divorce. Your home, savings, retirement, maybe even kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce and the unexpected directions it can take, you really need a partner you can count on. I'm Rick Julius, a partner at Cordell & Cordell. We're committed to helping protect your personal interests and the life you've built.
And one.
Divorce take more than it has to. Talk to us today.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Hartford area attorneys. Phyllis McCutcheon, licensed in Connecticut. Online at cordellcordell.com.
The airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. Now, you're gonna hear about it.
As Russ used to say, in my formerly nicotine-stained fingers, I have a grievance against Danbury today. This story that I hold in my hands now. If you can see it on ReeseOnTheRadio.com, I'm sure you've heard the headline. Danbury brothel raid, a wake-up call for stronger Connecticut human trafficking laws. It It should be the stupidest thing I read today, but unfortunately I read something else that beat it to the punch. But we'll get into that as well. I would love to hear from you. 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. Look, I know it was 20 years ago, but nonetheless, somebody knew something was going on with this kid. The teachers knew, classmates knew. There are published reports today that say that they knew. Now, again, we're talking about a kid whose DCF records have since been deleted, trashed, shredded, whatever the case is. Everyone seems to have all the details. Hungry, asking students for food, digging in the garbage for food. And DCF's calling somebody, and somehow they dropped the ball. Which, again, begs the question. You know, at least when I had the Bureau of Child Welfare, when they came into my house, and that was after the 2x4 beating, like that was enough. After that, they put me in a group home. And thank goodness. You know, at least then I had a fair fight with the kids inside there, but didn't have one at home. But you get involved in a kid that's dealing with that, and you don't make that child a ward of the state or grab that kid and put him into the system, I don't know. Maybe that has to do with a zip code. Maybe it has to do with a particular status of an individual. Who knows? But if you see a kid starving and rummaging through the garbage in school to eat, that's a 5-alarm fire. So, I don't know. We'll get to the phone calls. 860-522-WTIC, Adam's in East Hartford. Hey, Adam.
Hey, Reese. Thanks for always taking my call, and good afternoon, sir. How are you? Can you hear me well
I'm
enough?
pretty good. You're fine. Thank you, sir. Do you have a question? Do you have an answer before I let you get your statement? Do you have an answer for my question of the day? Do you think it's DCF that's overhauled with so many cases? It's too understaffed, or do you think they're just negligent?
They might be negligent on this one. It was too serious of a case.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying here. I don't know how many kids were in the system at that time. I guess there's no way to really tell. But I think that these are at least from what the school system can say that they remember about this kid, this seems like one of those kids you put at the front of the line of a backlog system. It's like, okay, we got to handle this immediately or expedite this immediately. But anyway, what did you want to call about? I'm sorry.
Well, first of all, I'm guilty of some people have heard me fiddling and diddling. I'm always behind schedule and a little disorganized, so sometimes I fiddle and diddle while I was on the phone. But what I called about today, I was just going to say it's bizarre, and it reminds me of what happened in Chicago. I'd have to look up what year it was. Remember when the 3 women were held against their will by a guy named Castro?
Yes, that's right. What was his name? Was it Julian Castro was his name?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
And these 3 adult women were held against their will for 10 years.
Right. In fact, each woman was taken separately, and I think there was a separation between 2 of the women that was 10 years. I think the first woman who was developmentally challenged, a second woman was taken 10 years later, then another woman was the last one, who was only maybe about 3 years in difference from the second one. He kept all 3 of them. And then finally, one woman broke out, and she ran to that one guy who became a celebrity, by the way, when he said he was saying that he knew something was wrong because some white woman ran across the street and threw her arms around him and said, "Help me." He said that's when he knew something was wrong, which I thought he was hilarious for that. I'm going to see if I can find that clip. That was really good.
You bet. Hey, I'll keep listening to this show and have a good weekend.
Thank you, man. You too. Let's go to Gary. He's in Coventry. Hey, Gary.
Hey, Reese. Hey, listen, to answer your question on DCF in general, especially today, it's mismanagement from the top level of the state. The fish stinks from the head first. Lamont, Murphy, Blooming Idiot, Tong, they're all wrapped up in their Trump derangement syndrome, fighting the federal government when their state, on their watch, has the highest taxes, the highest cost of living, and the most mismanaged departments and offices across the board.
You know what? You make me think, Gary, are these bozos trying to get the national appeal of a Joe Lieberman? Because you make a good point. Because it's Connecticut. You know what I mean? It's like, I understand we're in the tri-state area, but it's Connecticut. It's like Delaware in the DMV.
People.
Yeah. It's like
3.5 million people, and we're the richest state, one of the richest states in the country, and we can't take care of our own problems without all the additional revenue they brought in with the casinos, legalized gambling, marijuana. Where's the legalized prostitution? I'm waiting for it.
Wait a minute. And not only that, listen, even for a state without a major league team, they are killing it with UConn basketball, right? I mean, if they're not in the national championship, at least they're in the running almost every year. It's got to be probably one of the most storied college teams in the country. So it's not like Connecticut is, again, Connecticut is, as you pointed out, 3.6, 3.1, 3.6 million people. It's not a huge state to manage as far as population is concerned, but yet we've got all of these systems running amok.
Exactly, because they're too busy enriching themselves. They're too busy fighting.
Fighting national problems. You're absolutely right. And it's true. They could make a name for themselves being stellar stewards of the state they represent instead of trying to get national appeal because they think Connecticut is too small and nobody's going to see them. This is about recognition for them. This is about spotlight.
And enrichment.
Yeah, and enrichment. Yeah, can't forget about that. Thank you, Gary.
Not that Lamont needs any more of that, but Murphy for certain, and Tong and Blooming Idiot right behind him.
Yeah, indeed. Thank you so much, Gary. I appreciate you, sir. Let's go to Jim in Wellington. Hey, Jim.
Yes, sir. I'll tell you what. We could talk about this particular case or anything else you want to talk about. Pick a subject.
Mm-hmm.
The bottom line is that there's absolutely no excuse, any way, shape, or possible that anybody in the state of Connecticut can put forward to try to say there's some mitigating circumstances concerning the treatment of this young man. Well, now he's an adult.
Well,
none.
He's still a young man by our standards, Jim. I mean, 32. He's still a young man by our standards.
Yeah, and my questions would be about the processes, the communications, and the follow-up.
Right.
When he was in school, and where I'm not laying this just on the Department of Children and Youth Services.
Right.
I'm laying it across a whole bunch of places where this young man was in a process.
Right.
And the last thing I'll say is this: if you need an example of Doge, of government efficiency, there it is for the state of Connecticut. It's not just the state of. When you have what we have, when 25% of every dime that's collected goes to debt, you have governance that does not work. It just doesn't work.
You know what?
Example.
I'm thinking about this, Jim. I feel like DCF is being treated like Planned Parenthood. No one ever lets anyone see the books. And I think we need to see the books.
Well, there you go. There you go. That's why I won't throw shade on the people who work in. I won't. Maybe the administrative end of it, I won't, because the way the state of Connecticut runs, they'll starve the systems in order to hold on to the power and expect everybody else to pay for it. And in this case, it's DCF. Look at the roads in our major cities.
But you got. But wait a minute. Listen. This is the way I look at it, Jim. They've got too many stories coming up in too short of a time to not say, "All right, we've got to get inside here."
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's a symptom of the governance of that department and every other department. It's a built-in bias or a built-in incompetence. I don't know what you want to call it.
Exactly. I think it's a blend of all of it. I think it's 100. I think incompetence, I think, is a huge part of this, that they're just not skilled at their jobs, that they're missing stuff like this. We got pregnancies, death, kids falling out of windows, people living in squalor, parents allowed to keep their kids while their children live in squalor. It's incredible.
And I don't know this, but maybe you know it. do any of the people in that department, are they unionized people? And
No, I don't know that.
You know, the only reason I bring it up is because when you have people in the legislature that negotiate contracts, and they're in the legislature, and they're part of the negotiation, or maybe they're members of the specific union, or maybe they're on the outskirts. I don't know how you can do business that way. I don't know how you can negotiate as a representative of a town. I just don't know how it works. You're guaranteeing that the departments, no matter who they are, DCF in this particular case, you're guaranteeing they will never, ever be able to do the job, even the basic part of the job, because in this case, maybe they didn't have enough money, or maybe they just don't have enough skill, because along the way, what they're responsible for, a little by little, gets to the point where they don't have to answer to anybody.
Yeah.
Because nobody's making them. So
That's
who
right.
knows?
Yeah, this is just one of those moments where we say, you know what, it's too much for us to bear. We got to get inside and find out what's going on there. Thank you, Jim. I appreciate you. When we come back, folks, we'll do what's called the lightning round. I will grab as many calls as I can. Try to get your statement in 30 seconds or less. We appreciate it. But if you're calling in, the number is 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. Lightning round coming up. If you have a statement, the question of the day, DCF, another story involving them, losing the records, not protecting children. Is it because they're overwhelmed, understaffed, incompetent? Maybe you have something new. Let us know. 860-522-WTIC. We'll be back. It's Reese on the Radio, News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group. And I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney. And the truth is, I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney or if I look like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. At Wesley, we've helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshare without me being an attorney. And I want to share with you how we do it. Just give my office a call, and you will not talk to an attorney. And I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare, or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free information kit. 800-714-9090. 800-714-9090. 800-714-9090.
Looking for the perfect place to unwind after a busy day? Avon Old Farms Hotel and the Simsbury Inn have dining options to match your every mood. At Twiggs Lounge at the Simsbury Inn, good times are always on the menu. Join us for happy hour Monday through Thursday. From 4 till 6, we feature live music Thursday, Friday, and Saturday nights. If brunch is more your vibe, join us on Sundays for our award-winning brunch at Evergreen's Restaurant. Each week, 11 a.m. till 1:30. Twiggs Lounge and Evergreen's Restaurant, nestled in the heart of Simsbury at the Simsbury Inn. If you're looking for a dining experience that celebrates the flavors of the season, come to the Seasons Restaurant at Avon Old Farms Hotel. Every dish is crafted with fresh, local ingredients, inspired by the best of every season. Whether you're enjoying a cozy dinner or celebrating a special occasion, every meal is unforgettable. Join us Wednesdays for live music, Thursdays for trivia, or on Sundays for brunch. It's all at Seasons Restaurant at Avon Old Farms Hotel.
Hey, and for Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection company with over 1 million satisfied homeowners. I'm here to answer all of your home maintenance questions. I have Mary from Des Moines on the line. How can I help, Mary?
You're wrong. You'll see. $100.
Mary, you there?
Hey, Chris. Sorry. I'm calling to settle a bet with my husband. Okay, so is it better to deal with a clogged gutter now or wait until the weather's better?
Mary, the time is now. The longer you wait, the more damage you can have. Your husband may have lost this bet, but repairing your gutters can save your family thousands of dollars over the lifetime of your home.
But how much will it cost to get our gutters inspected?
Well, husband of Mary, leaf filter inspection and estimates are always free for new customers. And right now, if you go to leaffilter.com/gutter, you can get an additional 30% off.
I think I won here.
We both did. What's that site, Chris?
That's leaffilter.com/gutter. Visit today to schedule your free gutter.
Here we go.
Presented for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. 1 discount per household.
The airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. Now, you're going to hear about it.
We're back. Let's go to the lightning round real quick. That is everybody who's in the chat room, on the phone lines, we go to them as quickly as we can, and we get them to see if they can give up their statement or their point of view in about 30 seconds or less, okay? We're going to try it one time. We used to do this back in the day, back in 2008 in Boston, so I'm going to try it again. Let's go to Ralph, who's in South Carolina. How we doing, buddy?
Good. I'm in Connecticut, and I just got sticker shock on the prices.
Of gas or everything?
Everything. Unreal. By the way, you don't realize how lucky you are to live in Connecticut. Do you know you can get a doctorate degree in Connecticut and be illiterate?
I did
hear. You don't have to know anything, and you can get a doctorate degree, and you'll probably get it in a couple of weeks.
I did hear that. In fact, it's quite incredible the things that we learn about the education system in Connecticut. In fact, I've got another story about that coming up soon. It's kind of daunting, but I'll talk about it in a little bit. Thank you, Ralph. Let's go one more. Let's go to Doc in Harwington. How we doing, Doc?
Good. Hey, it's you know what it comes down to with DCF.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a headline-grabbing subject. Therefore, they don't care about it.
Really? Do you now?
I really believe that.
When you say not headline grabbing, are you saying like the welfare of children? It's not like I hate to use the term.
Illegals. They're not illegals. It shines a dark side on the state of Connecticut.
Gotcha.
If they don't want to expose, makes them look bad. They don't give a shit. Give a darn.
It's okay. We'll edit it out. I appreciate you. That's what lightning rounds are for. Let's go to Nikki, who's in Hartford. Hello, Nikki.
Yeah, hi. Okay, I don't know if I could say this in 30 seconds, but I'll tell you one thing. I know a family that's been trying to get children back from one side of the family.
Okay.
And DCF has been, even the children have put it on YouTube, the proof that they're in an abusive family situation. But DCF is refusing to give the child to the other family member, to the other parent, because the other parent is paying child support.
Now
the mother.
Hold on. Let me stop you for a second, Nikki, because this is important.
Go ahead.
There may be a dynamic that I'm missing, so I want to grab onto that. So the person who has the children that is abusing them, I guess, in whatever way, fashion, is that a male parent or a female parent?
It's a female parent.
Okay, So, and the person who's trying to get the children back and out of that abusive relationship, that is the male parent, I presume.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
So you and I both know, and I think that you and I both would be, sort of shouting at the choir here, that primarily DCF, the court system, will never take the children out of the mother's household and give it to the father, because, as we've known in a lot of advocate judges' cases, they believe that the kids belong with the mother, even if the mother is unfit, drug addict, prostitute, whatever the case is, they never give it to the father in the court system.
I don't know about never, but I'll tell you one thing. When the children are even trying to say, help me, and DCF is avoiding the proof, the pictures, and the court is telling the father, you're not allowed to speak, but letting the mother talk, and this person's not allowed to have anybody in court with them, not allowed to enter any evidence, and it's been going on for 8 years.
Wow. Damn. I got to learn more about that story. Hey, you know what? We'll just call back, Nikki. I promise you, we'll get your information. Let's get our first check of the weather and traffic during the show. Jason Caterina's got your weather, of course, and our good friend Mark Christopher's in the BPS Traffic Center. How we doing, Mark?
Hey, Reese. Good afternoon. Well, if you're heading southbound 91 into Hartford, delays 36 down to 32 A and B. You'll see more slow traffic 21 in Cromwell down to exit 20 in Middletown. Northbound side of 91, you're looking at delays from 18 up to just about exit 21 in Cromwell. After that, a little slow getting by the Route 9 interchange, and then a real easy ride Hartford up into Windsor. Westbound 84 is tied up 56 Governor Street out to 45 Flatbush Avenue. 84 eastbound, some slow traffic. About a mile before 46 Sisson Avenue down to the Bulkley Bridge. 291's a little tight. I-91 over to the Bissell Bridge heading into South Windsor. If you are traveling to westbound, you'll see some slow traffic approaching the 84 West Merge in East Hartford. 9 northbound slows Hartford Park up to the Aragoni Bridge. 84 eastbound delays just after 16 in Southbury all the way up to the Mixmaster in Waterbury. Lengthy delay also westbound 84 as you move from 26 in Cheshire. And it's pretty tight all the way up to just about exit 16 in Southbury. So a long, heavy ride there. Southbound Parkway, you're looking at delays from exit 62 in Hamden down into the West Rock Tunnel. 95 southbound slow traffic 46 to 44 in New Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8's WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Well, as we head through the rest of this afternoon, it'll be nice and mild. We'll see plenty of sunshine with a high temperature up to 62. Then a few clouds around this evening, followed by late night low clouds building into the area. We'll have a low temperature of 42. Clouds will be clearing out for some sunshine tomorrow. Another mild day as we head up to a high of 59. It'll be mild tomorrow night with plenty of clouds, low 49. Rather cloudy on Sunday, windy and warm with a shower in spots. The high of 64. This is meteorologist Isaac Longley in the WTIC Weather Center.
Who the hell is that guy?
There's a lot happening in Washington and in your local.
Yeah, you got Katarina's the main guy, but they got a lot of fill-ins all the time.
Oh, do they?
Latest. WTIC is celebrating 100 years on the air and 100 years of serving Connecticut. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford, an Odyssey station.
4 o'clock, good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. A woman in Waterbury stands accused of keeping her stepson captive in their home for over 2 decades. Details were released this week about the now 32-year-old man who set fire to their Blake Street home last month in an attempt to escape abuse and starvation. The victim weighed only 68 pounds when he was found. Ionis Kaloidis, the attorney for Kimberly Sullivan, says reports the victim was locked in a room from the outside don't prove anything.
She was surprised to hear the claims that have been made against her. The existence of a latch on a door does not mean that someone was locked in a room for 2 decades.
Audio from WFSB. Sullivan is free on bond. Her next court date is March 26th. Police in Berlin are continuing their investigation into a crash on Thursday that left a motorcyclist with critical injuries. The operator of the bike, 34-year-old Christopher Paul of New Britain, is in the hospital. Police are looking to identify a non-contact vehicle. They say that white Toyota RAV4 may have witnessed the crash on Farmington Ave. After the crash, the SUV is seen pulling into the driveway of a supermarket and then continuing on into the parking lot. Anyone with any information is being asked to contact Berlin police. President Trump delivering remarks this afternoon at the Justice Department.
My administration stripped the security clearances of the disgraced intelligence agents who lied about Hunter Biden's laptop from hell. We revoked the clearances of deranged Jack Smith, Alvin Bragg, Letitia James, and the crooked law firms that aided their partisan persecutions. And I went through it.
And Trump called the department before he took office in January full of, quote, hacks and radicals. Only 2 Democrats plan on voting yes to a GOP funding bill. One is Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer.
Donald Trump would then have these emergency powers to decide which departments, which agencies are essential, and which departments and agencies are non-essential.
Deadline is midnight tonight. That is reporter Torian Small on Capitol Hill. Protesters gathered outside the Department of Education today to decry staffing and budget cuts. More from CBS News correspondent Linda Kenyon.
They're protesting the layoffs of some 1,300 people, the firing of probationary employees, and the proposed elimination of the entire department. It's all part of an effort by President Trump's Department of Government Efficiency, or the DOGE, to cut federal spending. The president has long said he wanted to eliminate the Department of Education and send funding directly to the states to oversee. The DOGE plans to eliminate about half of the Education Department's workforce. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, Washington.
A limited batch of new license plates will declare Connecticut the pizza state. They're the concept of New Haven pizza guru Colin Kaplan. You can get them at tasteofnewhaven.com and click pizza license plates.
And you can order it right there. There's 3 types of things: transfer, replacement, and new vanity plate. It takes you to a secured DocuSign and a secured payment. and everything's being collected by my company. I'm a third party with the DMV. We send everything to the DMV. You get your plates in the mail.
And the display also includes a pizza slice and a logo of Connecticut Food Share. There are 500 plates at $75 each, or $145 for a vanity plate. And there's a link to our Twitter feed at WTIC 1080. Closing bell report sponsored by Bouvier Insurance. Dow up 674 points. The NASDAQ ahead 451. S&P up 117. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Connecticut Hospital. More than just patients. They care for our workforce, creating 245,000 jobs. They care for our economy as the largest employer in Connecticut. They care for our communities, connecting residents to health screenings, nutritious food, and stable housing. And they care for our future, making healthcare accessible, equitable, and affordable. Connecticut hospitals create real change by caring for Connecticut. Learn more at caringforct.org.
Are you a proud Connecticut business owner? We are too, with more than 45 years of experience handling business transactions for small and mid-sized businesses. And we know that not every business relationship works out as planned. If you find yourself in a dispute, call the law firm of Brown, Painderis & Scott. Our team of business lawyers have over 100 years of combined experience. At BPS Lawyers, you get more than a lawyer. You get a full-service law firm. Call us at 860-CALL-BPS or visit BPS.com.
Yep.
Nick Painderis is responsible for the content of this ad.
The airing of grievances. Grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. Now, you're going to hear about it.
Okay, Connecticut, pay attention. I am handing out the Best Actor Award for the state of Connecticut. And that award goes to our Chris Murphy. Starring in the movie, I Want to Run for the Presidency, and I want to be the leader of the Democratic Party. But yet I act like a moron and just continuously shout and swear now. The Best Supporting Actor, that's going to John Larson. He's starring in I'm Going to Spread as Many Lies as I Can About Donald Trump. And I'm going to shout to you just to make sure that you hear me clearly. So again, the Connecticut Awards go to our Chris Murphy and John Larson. And don't get me started on Rosa DeLauria. Come on, people. Vote these Democrats out.
That's actually a really, really good one. I thought that was perfect. I wanted to make sure that that got played. I don't even know who that woman is, but when I heard it on the voicemail, I was like, oh, I like this one. If you'd like to leave a voicemail like that, just go to reeseontheradio.com. That's REESE on the radio.com. Finding the airing of grievances, it'll give you the telephone number there. You go there and you leave your message, and we'll play it on the air on Friday, if you'd like to be a part of it. John in Meriden leaves a bunch of messages there. They're always nice to hear. I love his voice. Who does he remind me of? His voice. I can't think of it right now. His voice reminds me of, goodness great. Oh, I know. The old man from 8 Crazy Nights, the Adam Sandler cartoon? He sounds just like that, the old man in that. I got to find out who that actor is now. But I don't know if you saw that 8 Crazy Nights, the Hanukkah movie. That's also a little bit Christmas Story with Adam Sandler. The older gentleman in there, he sounds just like John in Meriden. When we come back, more of your phone calls. We'll talk a little bit more about this affidavit of the young man who was held captive for 20 years. We'll break all that down. And we've got to talk about the Danbury story. The Danbury story is exactly what I talked about with Justin Elliker, and I've been talking about for weeks. But they're paying attention to sex trafficking and not to the bigger problem. We'll talk about that. Let's get another check of the traffic with Mark Christopher. He's in the BPS Traffic Center. How are you doing, buddy?
Hey, Reese, good afternoon to you, and good afternoon, everyone. And if you are heading in toward downtown Hartford right now, you're going to see some slow traffic 91 southbound from 35 A and B in Windsor down to 32 A and B in Hartford. Then you'll see some more slow traffic from 22 down to exit 21 in Cromwell. Northbound 91, some sluggish traffic as you move between exit 20 and 22 in Cromwell. After that, easy ride Hartford up into Windsor. Westbound 84 slowing in East Hartford. 56 Governor Street out to 47 Sigourney. 84 eastbound tight approaching 46 Sisson Avenue into the tunnel. 291 eastbound, some sluggish traffic. I-91 over to exit 4 in South Windsor. 2 eastbound's a good ride Glastonbury to Marlboro. Middletown's okay, 9 in the Aragoni Bridge. 84 eastbound, you've got some slow traffic now from exit 16 in Southbury, pretty much right up to exit 18 in Waterbury. Westbound 84 is tied up approaching 26 in Cheshire, up to just about exit 16 in Southbury. If you are heading on the southbound side of the Parkway, you've got slow traffic now from exit 62 down into the West Rock Tunnel. 95 southbound delays 46 down to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8s WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Well, it'll be nice and mild for the rest of this afternoon with plenty of sunshine. We'll head up to highs of 62 to 65 degrees and clear to partly cloudy this evening, followed by late night low clouds building into the area. We'll head down to a low of 42. Morning clouds will clear up for some sunshine tomorrow. A nice and mild day once again out there. We'll head up to a high of 59. Mild tomorrow night with plenty of clouds. Low 49. And as we head into Sunday, rather cloudy, windy, and warm. There will be a shower in spots as well. High Sunday 64. That rain and even a heavy thunderstorm can occur Sunday night as a potent storm moves through the region. Then rain will continue at times in the morning on Monday. Otherwise cloudy and drying out for Monday afternoon as we head up to a high of 59. Right now it's 60 degrees in Windsor, 61 in Hebron, and 62 in Hartford. This is meteorologist Isaac Longley in the WTIC Weather Center.
It's Power Torque Tools DIY Days at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Save $20 on a Power Torque 248-piece mechanics tool set. Power Torque professional hand tools have a lifetime guarantee, available only at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
At Columbia Dental, we love to make kids smile. Our expert pediatric dentists specialize in children's dental care, making every visit fun and comfortable. Open 7 days a week. Call 860-645-0111 or visit columbiadental.com.
Hey, it's Tom Shattuck. As you know, my friend Phil is doing a week in 180 weight loss. He's on week 4. He's lost around 30 pounds. My wife Alice and I lost a whole bunch of weight. And now we're on the maintenance plan, and we're losing weight again. By the way, the maintenance plan is free for life. Awaken180weightloss.com.
For a limited time at Verizon, you can get our best price ever for a single line. Just $45 per month when you bring your phone, which is less than you spend on Too Tired to Cook takeout every week. Get one line on Unlimited Welcome for $45 per month with AutoPay plus taxes and fees. Visit your local Hartford Verizon store by April 2nd to save. $20 monthly promo credits applied over 36 months with a new line on Unlimited Welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Additional terms apply.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. To be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575. Here we go. 81.
Yes, sir.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
The airing of grievances. Grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. Now, you're going to hear about it.
Going to the phones in a bit, but stand by. I've got to talk about this story. Danbury brothel raid, a wake-up call for stronger Connecticut human trafficking laws. What would you consider a stronger human trafficking law, aside from just making it illegal? A stronger law would mean what? Maybe perhaps stricter penalties? I mean, because that's all it is. I don't think that lawmakers understand, and this is my biggest gripe, and it is my airing of grievance today. It's my biggest gripe with lawmakers. Let me explain it to you like you're a 5-year-old. Okay? Laws do not prevent crimes. They respond to them. That's what a law is. A law is not a deterrent. Never has been, never will be. The only deterrent it has on the perpetrator is they may think about how to circumvent it. If they are intending on committing said crime or breaking said law, they are going to do it. Law-abiding people go, what's the law on that? Oh, okay, 5 years? Nope, I'm not going to jail for that. See, laws only affect law-abiding citizens. Hey, you can't park on that red line. Well, I'm a law-abider. I will obey the law. Criminals, on the other hand, see the red line and go, screw that law. They don't. It is always about the individual. And as far as sex trafficking goes, especially in this scenario, no one seemed to care. They weren't looking at the law going, hey, can I get 5, 10, or 15 years? Do you think they're sitting around weighing the options? Do you think that they're having a PowerPoint presentation about how they're going to skirt this law? No. Breaking the law is what they do. I've never met a drug dealer who was at a drug dealer summit in Boca Raton finding out ways that they can skirt the government and their laws when it came to drug dealing. That's not how it works. So when you hear this stupidity about how we need to make sex trafficking much more, I don't know, about penalized friendly, I don't know, whatever it is they have to do, that's not what the intent is here. Your bigger problem was, in this case in Danbury, was you had 2 15-year-old girls. Did anybody in the story tell you that one of the girls just recently got here from Venezuela? Tell me, folks, really, really think about it. If you found out that in Danbury, Connecticut, there was a brothel involving 2 15-year-old girls, one of which was trafficked all the way from New York City up to Danbury, Connecticut in an Uber to perform sexual acts on a bunch of grown men. Oh, and by the way, I forgot this. The 15-year-old who was sent up from New York to Danbury, she was sent by a woman. A woman. And you think your problem is sex trafficking laws? Your problem is illegal immigration. Your problem is gang activity in the illegal immigration sectors inside your communities. You know, not knowing who these people are because you refuse to ask and you won't tell is giving these folks a safe haven to commit crimes. You keep thinking that you're giving them a safe haven so they can just go to work and come home. That's not what's going on. This was a perfect opportunity for you to investigate who's in your city and what they're doing. But it's clear you don't care until somebody reported on it. And now 2 15-year-old girls, one who got here from Venezuela, is finally out of the slave trade. Bozos. All of you. Bozos. Whoever thought that this was a proper headline is an idiot. It drives me through the roof. Anybody is that dumb. Anybody's that dumb. We've been telling you this for the longest. Every day we're hearing more and more stories about people being labor trafficked, sex trafficked, and it's all the same suspects, illegals. And if they're not illegals, there are illegal people who are dealing with illegals who are there who have to find a way to pay up for getting into the country illegally, paying a penance of some sort in order for them to stay here. Not one person has even thought about that and just says, maybe providing them safe haven could be detrimental to the community and others. Possibly. It's either they're not thinking outside the box or they don't want to. I'm starting to get the impression. And again, I want to give these folks the benefit of the doubt. When I say give them benefit of the doubt, I want to just call them stupid. I just want to call them dumb. But again, I think it's worse than that. I think it's purposeful. I don't think these people care. And boy, if I told you what my wife thinks, oh, hell, I'll tell you. You know what my wife thinks? And I hate to put this out there, but every time she says it, I cringe a little bit because I don't want to believe this. But you know what? My wife's she's not never wrong on this. She's not ever wrong on this in a lot of ways. You know what my wife thinks? It's crazy, but I know there's somebody out there saying the same thing. My wife thinks that the people who are allowing this to happen are getting a cut. My wife believes that a lot of bigwigs, a lot of powerful people in Connecticut, they're allowing it because in some way they're involved. Now, I don't really want to paint people as that disgusting and that pathetic. I don't. But you know what? Every time I go to my wife and I tell her, I was like, hey, you were right. She was like, I knew it. This is one of those things that I don't want her to be right. Not because I get to say, oh, see, you were wrong. No, because that would be crazy to me. I just want to write you off as stupid. But if you're involved, if you're actually a part of it all, oh, I don't even know what to say to that. Let's go to Roger in Manchester. How are we doing, Roger?
Oh, very good, Reese. Thank you for taking my call.
My pleasure.
Absolutely love your show, and this I felt compelled to call in on this topic as a dad with custody of my kids.
Oh, right.
I've had DCF, investigate me a couple times.
Okay.
And from my experience 10, 15 years ago, when I was younger, having to deal with DCF versus how they are today, my opinion has changed. I'm taking an unpopular opinion on DCF. I think it's an unnecessary. It's unnecessary for people to get angry with a corporate or a group that is trying to save and protect children.
Okay.
At the same time as we've got 15-year-olds being trafficked across the border.
Yeah.
So, we can't have it both ways. It's a double-edged sword. We need somebody out there that's looking over and protecting these kids, but they also need resources. There's very limited amount of workers out there with extremely heavy caseloads, and they cannot manage to get to everybody.
I don't want you to think I don't want you to get the impression, and I get where you're coming from because you've dealt with them personally, and that's why I asked the question of, do you think their caseload is too big? Do you think their staffing is too low? Or do you think there's something else? Never once am I suggesting that DCF should be removed. However, if you see this many stories, from the baby that went out the window to the 12-year-old girl, well, now she's grown, but at 12 years old, she gets pregnant by her foster father. And then a story like this with a person who ends up in captivity for 20 years, DCF always seems to be the story, the people involved or having been involved and dropped the ball sort of lends itself to say, okay, we need to see what the problem is. Because I'm with you. You don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. It's a necessary bureaucracy, but I think we can improve it. Is that fair to say?
That's super fair. I think that they're doing a tremendous job with the resources that they have available, and unfortunately, my heart goes out to the kid who had to burn his way out of his situation.
Yeah.
And to these girls, my heart breaks for them. But I think the percentage of these types of cases is much lower compared to what good that they're doing for the communities.
Yeah, I think you and I are in agreement that says that stories like these have a tendency to be larger than the good work that they do. But I will say this on top of that, Roger, and the problem is that these stories overshadow the good that they do because the stories we focus on are so egregious. Like a kid in 20-year captivity is normally going to outshine any good work DCF has done because that's not publicized. So there's sort of like a huge, it's like the marble and the sun. You put the marble close up to your face and it'll block out the sun. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
I appreciate you, sir. Thank you, Roger. And good luck, man. Congratulations on the kids, and good luck to them.
Appreciate you.
My
Thank you very
pleasure.
much.
Thank you. Let's go to Fulton, who's in Waterbury. How you doing, buddy?
What's going on today? I have a question. So the baby that fell out of the window in Hartford.
Yeah.
She had like 5 kids, right?
Yes.
Are those kids still with her?
That's a good
I don't know if
question.
anybody knows that.
Well, she
You know,
ended
like,
up.
That's what I mean.
She
Is it
ended up
smoke
going
and
to.
mirrors?
She ended up going to jail, didn't she?
I don't know.
Yeah, I do
imagine
believe
it.
she
When
ended
did
up
that
going to
happen? A couple
jail.
years ago?
If Mark is near his phone, I hope he'll text me. But I think you're right. I think that and it's interesting about that case, Fulton, that we found out behind the scenes and nobody would report on it. She didn't leave the children alone. There was an adult in the home, according to reports.
That's what I mean. Like there's some circuit. Like I'm sure to this Waterbury case, and I'm not defending anything or anything.
Right.
Let the whole case come out. It seems that there's pieces that are missing. Maybe I don't know.
You know what? I'll tell you the part that's kind of freaking me out. According to the affidavit, when first responders get there, firefighters, then police, there were people being treated for smoke inhalation or something along those lines. From what I heard or read in the affidavit yesterday, the mother, the stepmother, was standing next to her daughter and her daughter's husband or boyfriend. I got to get the thing up again. But apparently there were people in the family who knew about the situation and said
that's what they
nothing.
Said. They said the dad died like a year ago.
Exactly.
And the lady looks like, she looks like she's bananas. So
Somebody just told me
know.
she's got, allegedly she works at a department store at the mall. I don't want to say the name because I don't want to put them under the radar like that.
Waterbury Mall's brutal anyway, but I don't know. I guess so, maybe.
She worked, from what I hear, they say that she works at a department store. But I don't want to put the department store on blast. That's not
The
fair.
one in Danbury, those are 2 15-year-old girls. Where's DCF for them? Like,
Yeah.
There's got to be other things. Are we going to prosecute the lady that sent them? Did she
Yes.
sponsor any other kids?
Exactly.
But this is
And
a lot
first of all,
real
that's
stuff.
interstate trafficking in prostitution.
That's what I mean. This is a federal crime.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Anybody going to protect kids? You got the Hartford school system. They're like doing something with the kids, putting them in shop class unsafely. You don't think DCF got called on that? And then you got the lady that, now whatever they did, the lady kept a secret. You don't think DCF got called on that?
Yeah,
Like, is this all a big cover?
It's crazy. Exactly. It's,
card?
dude, you listen to me. Fulton, right now, you have no idea. You are gushing like so many crazy stories we've dealt with in the last couple of weeks.
I don't even know. I'm like exploding.
You're 100% right. It's an incredible year to be alive, my friend. It's insanity.
I wish you had a Connecticut coach. I tell you what, that lady Jennifer Cook, I think it was, right? That's the lady going for mayor.
Yeah.
She said she's into the Doge scene, like she wants to get rid of inefficiency.
Yeah.
I think Connecticut really needs it. I think there's a lot of nonsense.
And you know what it is? Like I said, I think I said it a couple of weeks ago. I think that Connecticut, because of where it is and who it is, or who it is in general as a state, is so insulated. All of this corruption and mismanagement is just allowed to flourish, and nobody's holding anyone accountable, even the media.
Well, it doesn't make it for the news. Like you always say, like if Dennis House is best friends with the guy, he's not going to talk bad about him.
Yeah.
He actually in that interview was like, tell me what Ned Lamont did good. Tell me, well, maybe she doesn't want him. Maybe she doesn't think he did anything good.
Yeah.
Like after 3 times, I think.
Exactly right. Thank you, Fulton. I appreciate you, sir.
Thank you for taking my call today.
Always my
pleasure. One more thing. All the callers come up with some great information. I love it that I can, when you fact check people, it all works out. Like, you're some good callers, man. I really appreciate them.
Thank you, man. And we
got.
appreciate you, man. Thank you. Thank you, Fulton. Yeah, I mean, Fulton's right. I mean, we have been, every day, bang, 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 getting hit. Tuesday's a big day, by the way. I'll talk about that in a little bit, too. Let's get our weather and traffic. Mark Christopher, he's in the BPS Traffic Center. I don't know who that guy is in weather. I didn't get his name. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Reese, thank you very much. Good afternoon to you. Good afternoon, everyone. Hey, if you're heading southbound 91, look for delays 34 down to 32 A and B. And once you get around that, just a little slowdown as you move between exit 21 and 20 as you move Cromwell down into Middletown. Northbound 91's losing some speed between 20 and 21 in Cromwell. After that, good ride until you get up just a little slow by 25, 26 of the Putnam Bridge in Wethersfield. If you're westbound 84, you're going to see delays 56 Governor Street out to 45 Flatbush. 84 eastbound slows 44 Prospect Oakwood down to the Bulkley Bridge. 291 slowing I-91 over to exit 4 in South Windsor. No problems 2 eastbound Glastonbury to Marlboro. Okay in Middletown, 90 in the Aragoni Bridge. Westbound 84 is tight in Cheshire 26 up to just about exit 16 in Southbury. 84 eastbound is slowing from 16 in Southbury, sluggish and stop and go up to exit 18 in Waterbury. 84 eastbound in Danbury slowing 3 to 5. 84 eastbound Danbury tight again 8, sluggish up to exit 11 in Newtown. Southbound on the Parkway, you're going to see delays from exit 63 in North Haven down to 60 in Hamden. 95 southbound New Haven slowing 46 to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Nice and mild for the rest of this afternoon with plenty of sunshine. We'll head up to a high temperature of 62 degrees and clear to partly cloudy this evening, followed by late night low clouds expanding into the region. We'll have a low of 42. Clouds will be breaking up for some sunshine tomorrow. Another mild day out there with a high of 59. Still mild tomorrow night with plenty of clouds. Low temperature tomorrow night down to 49 as we head into Sunday, turning out rather cloudy, windy, and warm. There will be a shower in a few spots, high of 64, then rain and even a heavy thunderstorm can occur Sunday night as a potent storm moves through the region. Then as we head into Monday, rain will continue at times in the morning. Otherwise cloudy and drying out for the afternoon hours. High temperature on Monday up to 59. Sunny and pleasant on Tuesday as high pressure builds overhead. High Tuesday 57, then turning out mild on Wednesday with a mixture of clouds and sunshine with a high Wednesday of 63. This is meteorologist Isaac Longley in the WTIC Weather Center.
And now, a WTIC news update.
It's 4:30, Hartford temperature 60 degrees. Good afternoon, I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. The Senate getting ready to vote on a continuing resolution to keep the government funded and avoid a partial shutdown. This, as Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer has announced, he will vote for the GOP-crafted measure, saying although he hates the bill, a shutdown is worse. Investigation continues into how a 32-year-old man was held against his will for over 2 decades by his stepmother in a Waterbury home. Kimberly Sullivan's attorney says his client is innocent. She's charged with cruelty to persons and other offenses after the man deliberately set fire to their Blake Street home in an escape attempt last month. Road rage incident in Southington. Police say 2 men got into it on Queen Street in town on Thursday. Under arrest, Kyle McCarthy of Southington and Paul Miller of the Bronx. A state representative from Groton was in court today to address DUI charges. Democrat Andre Bumgardner said outside court he takes responsibility for his actions. Bumgardner was arrested earlier this month. He was released on bond, suspended from his committee and leadership posts following the arrest. UConn used a late run to beat Villanova in the Big East Conference Tournament quarterfinal on Thursday, 73-56. The third-seeded Huskies move on to face number 2 seed Creighton, and a semifinal tip-off tonight at 9. On Wall Street, the markets ended a lackluster week in the black. The Dow gained 674 points, the NASDAQ was up 451, and the S&P up 117 points. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Men, this is Dale for Northeast Men's Health. And though I generally talk about medicine and effective treatments for erectile dysfunction and other men's sexual health issues, today I want to talk about love, because love is the best reason to get treated for your ED. You see, ED can cause major relationship issues. In fact, men often push their partners away when ED becomes a problem. The condition can cause depression, arguments, breakups, and even contribute to divorce. But the good news is that if you're like most men suffering with ED, you can be successfully treated at Northeast Men's Health and put a stop to the relationship stresses that ED can cause. I say this with all confidence because we have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases. Truly, it's likely you'll find you're performing like you haven't in years. So make an appointment and get the love back in your love life. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956 or go to northeastmenshealth.com. We have 5 offices in the Northeast to serve you. Northeast Men's Health, a Promenic restorative health practice.
When you haven't found love, it can feel like everyone else has. It's in every movie, every song, and all the PDA. Love sucks. Thankfully, California Psychics can give you the guidance you need to find the one. We guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. And new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com and experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Celebrate twice as much with NordVPN's birthday deal. Get 72% off and a coupon for up to 1 year free. Visit NordVPN and discover the benefits. Secure up to 10 devices with a single account. Encrypt your online traffic. Reduce the risk of phishing, scam. NordVPN's Threat Protection Pro. Get the special birthday deal at nordvpn.com. Additional terms apply. NordVPN.
The airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. Now, you're going to hear about it.
Got a lot of information that's being thrown at me about the family. This woman, Sullivan, and his father, Craig, is spelled, I've never heard it spelled like that or seen it spelled like that, K-R-E-G-G. I think someone may have found his father's obituary, and if it's the right one, which we're going to confirm in a little bit, I don't know how you're going to respond to this. I'm going to read it when I make sure that we confirm that it is the obituary, but if this is the one, you will be, I don't even know what to say. I have no idea how you're going to react when I read this obituary of his father. I don't know. I really don't. I'm reading it and I'm going, oh, I have to read this on the air. But anyway, we'll get into it. We'll talk about that in a little bit. In the meantime, let's do this.
Yes, you do. Stupid as can be. This could very well be the stupidest person on the face of the earth.
The stupidest thing I read today. With everything you have seen in the last 50 some odd days, especially after the election, you know that there has been one theme when it comes to the Democrats. And that theme is that they are no longer talking to their constituents. The people who have had them elected for years, they stopped talking to. The people they cared about the most were the fringe leftists, the transgender, the LGBTQ, the DEI blacktivists, BLM and the like. That's who they were paying attention to. And the average hardworking citizen, they ignored. So imagine how stupid I found it when I heard that Democrats have a new strategy in the coming months. Go to reeseontheradio.com. That's REESE on the radio.com to go read the stupidest thing I read today. Let me give you a hint. The Democrats have decided that they want to talk to Republicans. That's who they're reaching out to, not their own people. They're reaching out to Republicans. They're going to red states. They're going to Republican town halls. And they're actually following this AOC nonsense. For what? Does that mean, oh, wait a minute, maybe I shouldn't poo-poo this? If that's what they were doing, if that's what they're going to do and start talking to Republicans, perhaps we can get some of those liberals over here on Reese on the Radio? Ah, stop, I'm kidding. Of course not. They're never coming here. That's unlikely. But yeah, stupidest thing I read today. Democrats, instead of reaching out to their own constituents, they think they're going to convince Republicans. good luck with that. I think it's going to be hilarious. I cannot wait. You know, Democrats are at a point where they would lose a popularity contest in their own home. That's how bad it is. Let's go to Mark Christopher. He's in the BPS Traffic Center. Some other guys got weather. Hey,
all right, thank you very much, Reese. Thank you. And if you're heading into downtown Hartford right now, you're going to see delays on the southbound side of I-91-35 down to 32A and B, a little bumped out by exit 28, and some more slow traffic as you move from 23 in Rocky Hill down to exit 22 in Cromwell, and then another bump as you move down from exit 20 down to 17 in Meriden. Just sluggish there. Northbound 91, little tap of the brakes by 22. After that, good ride Hartford up into Windsor. Westbound 84 is tied up approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to 45 Flatbush Avenue. 84 eastbound delays 44 Prospect Oakwood down to the Bulkley. 2 westbound slows exit 4 to the 84 West merge. 291 eastbound slows from I-91 over to the Bissell Bridge. If you are traveling into Middletown, 9 north and southbound Arrogordy Bridge doing okay. Heavy traffic in Cheshire from 26, and it's tight right up to between 17 and 16 as you move towards Southbury. 84 eastbound is sluggish from just after 16 in Southbury up to 18 in Waterbury. If you're heading 84 eastbound in Danbury, delays from 3 to 5. Again, 84 eastbound slowing from 8 in Danbury out to exit 11. Southbound Parkway delays from exit 62 down to just south of exit 60 in Hamden. 95 southbound delays 46 to 44 in New Haven. 91 southbound, you're tight 3 in toward the 95 interchange. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Well, the nice and mild weather will continue for the rest of this afternoon as we see plenty of sunshine. We'll have highs ranging from 62 to 65. And a few clouds out there this evening, followed by late night low clouds filling into the area. We'll have a low temperature down to 42 degrees. Morning clouds will clear up for some afternoon sunshine tomorrow. Another mild day as we head up to a high of 59. Still mild out there tomorrow night, along with plenty of clouds, low 49. And as we head into Sunday, turning out rather cloudy, windy, and warm. There will be a shower at a few spots as well. High Sunday 64, then rain, and even a heavy thunderstorm can occur Sunday night as a storm pushes through the region. And as we head into Monday, rain will continue at times in the morning, otherwise cloudy, and starting to dry out by the afternoon hours as we head up to a high on Monday, up to 59. Right now, it's 59 degrees in Bristol, 60 in South Glastonbury, and 62 in Hartford. This is meteorologist Isaac Longley in the WTIC Weather Center.
Hey, it's Tom Shattuck. As you know, my friend Phil is doing a week in 180 weight loss. He's on week 4. He's lost around 30 pounds. My wife Alice and I lost a whole bunch of weight. And now we're on the maintenance plan, and we're losing weight again. By the way, the maintenance plan is free for life. Awaken180weightloss.com.
Hi, this is Joel Johnson with Johnson Brunetti. Do not make mistakes when it comes to Social Security decisions. Get our free guide, Social Security Decisions. Call or text the word security to request your copy, 1-800-705-1232. Call or text the word security to 1-800-705-1232 to get your free guide, 1-800-705-1232.
Investment advisory services offered through JB Capital, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Insurance products offered through JN Financial, LLC.
Oh, honey, it's our favorite...
1 minute.
Pro Matt. Matt, come in, come in.
Hi, Mrs. Sparks. You wanted me to stop by? Is everything okay with your leaf filter gutter protection system?
Okay. Of course, silly. We wanted you to stop by for dinner as our way of thanking you. Yes, to thank you for that free gutter inspection, the free estimate, and what was the other thing? That lifetime guarantee.
Well, Mr. and Mrs. Sparks, those are just Leaf Filter's policies. Everyone who calls Leaf Filter gets a trusted pro to come out for a free gutter inspection and estimate. And every Leaf Filter installation comes with a lifetime guarantee.
So it's not just us?
No, sir. We don't want anyone to worry about clogged gutters ever again.
You mean everyone gets this level of service?
Everyone. They just need to visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule their free inspection.
Okay, but you must be starving. You work so hard. Ready to love your gutter protection as much as we do? Visit leaffilter.com/deal and
10%
off today.
See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. 1 discount per household.
The self-proclaimed love child of Rush Limbaugh.
They're running a strange program, y'all.
Reese on the radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
You know, I keep hearing those Awaken 180 ads. I am volleying to get down with the program. My wife has been giving me, she hasn't been giving me hell. I can't say that, but she keeps... Yeah, she does the thing. I don't know if you ladies who listen, if you do this to your husband, let me just tell you, Good job. You really can make us feel guilty. My wife says this one thing to me when she starts talking about health. You could insult a guy. You could just say, "Oh, honey, you're putting on a couple of pounds." You could say something like that, or, "Oh, you put on weight." You could say something incredibly insensitive like that. But guys can handle that. Real guys can. But it's this that a guy can't handle. And my wife does it often enough. And she does it in a certain way. If you don't mind, I'd like to I'd like to sort of impersonate my wife when she does it. She says, "Honey, we've got to get healthy." And I go, "Yeah, I know. And she goes, "Because I want you around for a long time." I laugh because I don't laugh when she says it. I'm laughing because interpretation, like my impersonation of her, is horrible. But she says it with half of a cry and half of a sigh. And it gets me every time she does it. "I want you to be around for a long time." And I kind of go, ugh. Never have I ever felt so guilty about a chocolate chip cookie when she does that. I want you around for a long time. You women, you know how to do that. And again, me, I don't know how to operate criers. So as soon as you cry next to me, I'm like, there. I don't. I'm all thumbs. Don't cry. For me, it's like the make and model is broken. I'm like, I don't know how to fix this. So yeah, she's figured me out. She says that silly line, "I want you around for a long time," and I immediately put down the cookie. That she just made, by the way. That's what she did. She made the cookies and then told me, "I want you around for a long time. Don't eat too many." Like, who does that? Psychological warfare is just a thing. It's crazy, scary. 860-522-WTIC. Matt's in Bristol. How we doing, big guy?
Hello, Mr. Hopkins.
What's up?
If you think that's bad, I had a girl that I was with for over 12 years, and I got out of the shower, and she said, "Are you going to do something about that?"
Oh, my goodness.
And I said, "Well, I guess I am now."
What choice do you have? Are you going to do something about that? It was like you walked out with another arm.
Well, I had a belly and everything else, so yeah, yeah.
Oh, and you're a thin guy, Matt. You're not even like, I wouldn't even consider you remotely.
After that,
that was the impetus? I didn't know that. Oh, that's good to know. Anyway, what'd you call about, big guy?
So I called about DCF.
Okay.
Right. So I'm calling from a different perspective.
Okay.
So I adopted a kid.
Oh, wow.
Because DCF took him away from their father.
Oh.
And I had the kid for 3 years until he turned 18. And all I can tell you is, so they came and ripped the kid out of the house, which was not a bad house, not a bad person.
Okay.
I had the kid for about 7 months, and I called DCF up. I'm like, "Are you ever going to come check? How do you know I'm not worse than the guy?"
So there were no follow-up visits or anything, like status reports, nothing. How's the kid doing in school?
No. I had to call them to get them to come out.
Holy moly.
There was absolutely nothing. There was the first home check, and I had to go through a series of things to be qualified, pre-qualified.
Yeah, you go through that. That's like any other sort of like it's almost parallel to what you go through for an adoption.
Yep.
And so
it wasn't adopted.
Right. So they do that in the beginning. They do the initial search of the home, make sure the background check, the house is livable, kid has their own room, maybe a place to play or stuff like that. And then after you get the kid and you've been approved, they wash their hands of the whole thing.
Wash their hands. I could have been the most horrible human being on the planet.
Right.
You never would have known.
That is an interesting story, and it begs the question: why isn't there any? I would assume that because the caseworker has the kid off their docket, they're like, okay, now I can deal with the other kids that are on my list, But even that That's, again, you're not really doing a service for a child if you place them someplace and you don't do a follow-up, because you could be putting them in a far worse place, as you just described. You could put them in a far worse place than the original place they moved out of.
If I didn't continually call them, that's it.
Damn.
It was done. I called them over and over again.
I just want to say,
make sure that they come out and make sure he was okay.
I just want to say, I didn't know that about you, but my friend, good on you. That is a noble thing. I am proud of you for doing that. And you are a special place in my heart for doing that, just as a kid who's gone through foster care, a kid who's gone through the group home system. So for that, my friend, kudos. You are bee's knees in my book. God bless you.
Thank you, my friend.
You
Take
got
care.
it. All right, you got it. Let's go to White Mike. What's going on, big guy?
Oh man, so I just got off work and I'm got my snifter of Hennessy in my hand, and I'm about to preach some hate. Are you ready?
Oh, please keep it within the boundaries of the FCC.
All right, yeah. So of course, so I told you who I hate the other day. You know, whiny black people, bouncy homosexuals, Canadians. There's nobody I hate worse than weak, apologetic, soft white people.
Oh, okay.
I'll tell you what kind of kicked me off on it. I watched a documentary on the other day about the treatment of the Aboriginal Australians.
Yeah, okay.
And we've all been fed this horrible propaganda about those evil, pasty English people who stole those Aboriginal children from their loving families and put shoes and clothes on them and made them eat mince pie and put them in white households, right? How terrible. Do you know why they did that, by the way?
Now I'm a little loose on this one, on the history of this one, but from what I understand, that there was a lot of savagery.
Yes, thank you, my brother. When the British showed up, they found that these people, who are, by the way, tested to be the per capita stupidest human beings on the planet.
Okay.
The average Aboriginal has an IQ of Forrest Gump level.
That's not bad compared to what I got to deal with in America. But go ahead.
The British showed up and they found that these people had no problem marrying and having sex with children.
Wow.
Children, like 8-year-olds, were fair game. And the British, being good Christian folks, saw this and said, well, we can't let the dusky savages molest the little child savages. So they took them away. They did it to save those people. And we've been given propaganda for what, 50 years, 100 years?
Now, wait a minute. Now, did your documentary, the documentary that you watched, did it talk about that, or was it given the perspective of the white man was this evil,
No.
European?
It was a pretty based documentary.
Okay.
And just so you know, the average Australian hates those people.
I know. That I know.
They hate them. They are like, if the average white American thinks that we have burdens on our country in certain parts of society.
Sure.
Buddy, it's nothing compared to these people. They literally do nothing in Australia. They're all on the dole. They're useless savages. They're drug addicts and alcoholics, and they steal gasoline to huff and get high.
Wait. So they hold on. Steal gasoline, but generally they are kind of like, 19th century civilization people, right?
Oh, no, 19th century nothing. They are Stone Age wearing pants.
All right. I don't know how many Aborigines are in the Nutmeg State, so they're going to be...
Dude, they can't buy a plane ticket. Come on.
I'm letting you go. I love you.
Man, I'm almost there, man. Come on.
Go ahead, real quick.
This egalitarian nonsense that tells me that everybody is the same, all humans are the same, we're just different shades. No, buddy. If you can look at the video the Hodge twins just posted of sub-Saharan Africans eating a whole monkey.
Wow.
You can't tell me that those are the same people as Chris freaking Hemsworth.
Chris Hemsworth. Goodbye. That's the worst. Yes, White Mike, ladies and gentlemen, we bring him on here just to do that. Michael B says that White Mike needs a podcast. You have no idea. The world is dying for him to have his own podcast. That's the truth. Let's go to Dave in Brantford. Yes, I know this one's a rough one to follow, but Dave, go ahead.
Yeah, man, I don't have nearly the heat that Mike has got. I'm going to start with two asides. Good luck to the UConn men in Madison Square Garden tonight and hopefully tomorrow if we advance. And I will be reeking from head to toe of corned beef and cabbage because we have watched so much meat.
Disgusting.
Probably all week long. I have a grievance.
Yes.
To me, the most important story of the last 6 years since the primary of 2019 is the Wander Gita Pataki from Bridgeport ballot stuffing case.
Yeah.
And so far as I see, she hasn't suffered any legal consequences at all lately. So the grievance is this Sunday is the only story I've seen of the 5 miscreants appearing in court in the Hartford Courant. This Sunday, March 9th, on Section 2, page 2, a very small story was the way they covered it. That was pathetic. I don't know if they lack the resources or that they're in the bag to try to cover up from
Which is a
Democrats'
story that I
corruption.
don't seem, you're 100% right. A story of that magnitude that has made it on one of the most popular primetime cable news networks, Jesse Waters Primetime. They even brought his man on the street, Johnny, up to Bridgeport to cover it nationally, making Gene Pataki a household name on his show. The fact that the Hartford Courant would treat it with a byline at best, because that's what they wrote about it, a byline.
It was a story. Andrew Brown from the Connecticut Mirror. The Courant didn't even send one of their own reporters to cover the story.
Holy moly.
The back of my hand would be the people who should be involved, which would be Stephanie Thomas,
right?
Billy Tong, and the State Election Enforcement Commission. So far as I can see, they've done literally nothing.
It's a 35-minute drive. That's all it is.
Stop it from happening again. And if you think about it, somebody has spent millions to prosecute these people to stage repeat elections. We've had to stage a redo primary, a redo general. We have spent a fortune. If somebody stole that much money from the municipality, you'd be in trouble in every way that counts. And the 3 city council members, sitting city council members in Bridgeport, no penalty that I can see.
You know what I want them to do, though? Do you think, what's his name, Cirilli? It's what's the one of the city councilmen? Is that his name, Cirilli?
Castillo.
Oh, Castillo. Sorry, you're right. Castillo. You know what I would like? Look, he sounds like he wants to talk. If he wants to.
He's one of the ones who implied that the orders came from higher up in the Democrat Party, but he didn't say who.
He wouldn't say
we all
who.
know who we think it is.
Oh, I know.
We want him to speak.
I want him to speak.
I'm done.
Thank you, Dave. I want him to speak badly. Oh, I wish he would come forward and speak. In a heartbeat. Let me take Mike in Plainville before we go to break. How we doing, Mike?
Honey, I'm home.
What's up, buddy?
I'll tell you what. You know what? I have a small grievance.
Sure.
Radio. Specifically TV.
Okay.
Police shootings or incidents involving violent criminals. Stop reporting on the condition of the suspect. We don't care. I don't care. I only care about the officers if they're okay. They're doing their job. No word yet on the suspect's condition. Who cares? I don't care.
Yeah, I've never heard anyone ever ask about this. That's a new phenomenon. I don't think I've ever heard that before.
It's been a couple of months now on radio and TV. Even on TIC, they say there's no word on the suspect.
I will definitely look into that. I'll try to find out why that is.
Quickly, my last comment. I have a mad chihuahua at home. He's on a leash, but I'm going to take the leash off and sick him on Roland.
Why? Roland didn't call you back. He said it's... No. You know what? I'll see what I can do as a backup for you, Mike. Thank you.
I'm going to show up over there with a chihuahua.
I hope you heard that, Roland. All right, let me get to this last one before we get out of here. Let's go to, you know what? I'll see if I can take Lori for the next 30 seconds. How we doing, Lori?
Oh, dude, I have so much to talk about.
So you know what?
TCS
That's okay. No. Can you hold?
Yes, sir.
You know what? Let's put you on hold. We'll take Lori on the other side of the break because I got to talk about that and a whole bunch of other stuff. I've got new Jasmine Crockett audio. Apparently, she's doubling down on immigrants picking your crops and cleaning your toilets. Yep, she is. And this time she was talking to black people at some forum. So we'll talk about that. Also, we'll talk about, we've got 10 years, by the way. I didn't know it. 10 years before the climate catastrophe, according to CBS News. We'll get all of that in the next hour. So stick around for it. We've got your weather coming up, and Mark Christopher is in the BPS Traffic Center. How we doing, sir?
Hey, Reese, thank you very much. Well, we have an accident now, 91 northbound up in Cromwell, up by exit 22. It's on the right shoulders, but you've got delays pushing back toward exit 20 in Middletown behind that. After that, easy ride, Hartford up into Windsor. Southbound 91 delays 34 down to 32 A and B. Again, slowing by exit 28. And again, another bump as you move from 19 down to 17 in Meriden in the Wilbercross Parkway. Westbound 84 tied up in East Hartford, approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to 47 Sigourney. 84 eastbound locked up. Let's see, we'll call it from 44 Prospect Oakwood down to the Bulkley, 291 through 84 okay, 2 westbound, slowing in East Hartford, exit 4 up to the 84 West merge. Good ride through Middletown, 9 in the Aragodi Bridge, 84 westbound, heavy this afternoon from 26 in Cheshire all the way out to between 17 and 16 as you head towards Southbury. 84 eastbound, sluggish and stop and go from 16 in Southbury up to exit 18 in Waterbury. 84 eastbound, Danbury, tight 3 to 5. Again, 84 eastbound, slowing in Danbury 8 out to exit 11 in Newtown. If you are southbound on the Parkway, delays from 62 down to 60 in Hamden. Southbound 91 slows from 8 in New Haven down in toward the 95 interchange, and 95 southbound delays New Haven 46 down to exit 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8's WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Well, as we head through the rest of this afternoon, it'll be nice and mild. We'll see plenty of sunshine with a high temperature up to 62, then a few clouds around this evening, followed by late night low clouds building into the area. We'll have a low temperature of 42. Clouds will be clearing out for some sunshine tomorrow. Another mild day as we head up to a high of 59. It'll be mild tomorrow night with plenty of clouds, low 49. Rather cloudy on Sunday, windy and warm with a shower in spots, the high of 64. This is meteorologist Isaac Longley in the WTIC Weather Center.
There's a lot happening in Washington and in your local neighborhood. Follow WTIC News Talk 1080 on the Odyssey app to keep up with the latest. WTIC is celebrating 100 years on the air and 100 years of serving Connecticut. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford, an Odyssey station.
It's 5 o'clock, 63 degrees, partly sunny skies in Hartford. Good afternoon, I'm John Silva. WTIC 1080 News. A woman in Waterbury stands accused of keeping her stepson captive in their home for over 2 decades. Details were released this week about the now 32-year-old man who set fire to their Blake Street home last month in an attempt to escape abuse and starvation. The victim weighed only 68 pounds when he was found. Ionis Kaloidis, the attorney for Kimberly Sullivan, says the victim was locked in a room. That the victim was locked in a room from the outside does not prove anything.
She was surprised to hear the claims that have been made against her. The existence of a latch on a door does not mean that someone was locked in a room for 2 decades.
Audio from WFSB. Sullivan is free on bond. She's due back in court March 26th. Word this afternoon that the FAA is banning helicopters from flying near Reagan National Airport.
After the deadly mid-air collision in January. The move comes just days after federal investigators recommended the ban.
CBS's Stacey Lynn in Washington. The Democratic Party appears fractured as a torrent of frustration and anger has been unleashed on Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer. Senate Democrats face what they see as that they say is an awful choice: shut the government down or consent to a GOP funding bill that allows President Trump to continue slashing the federal government. Schumer has announced that he would reluctantly support the bill, but many in the party felt the New York Democrat was not showing sufficient fight. Trump gave a speech at the Justice Department today. Here's CBS's Linda Kenyon.
It's unusual because presidents traditionally have sought to maintain a firewall between themselves and the Justice Department. But President Trump used his appearance to praise his allies, and he vowed to expose his enemies. In a speech that relitigated his many grievances attributed to the Biden administration, former President Joe Biden himself, and the court system, the president also lashed out at the media. He said media outlets which cover him critically are, quote, illegal and corrupt.
Back here, the Connecticut Department of Labor has released its annual benchmark jobs report for 2024 with a glance at how this year is going so far. WTIC's Morgan Cunningham with the rundown.
Top line points from the report show Connecticut employers currently have 1,718,400 payroll jobs, having added 16,000 payroll jobs between December 2023 and December of last year. It's also noted that a full recovery from jobs lost in the pandemic happened from December 2022 to December 2023, with the state adding 19,600 jobs. Since then, the last 2 years, the state unemployment rate's been pretty flat at a 3.0 to 3.3% level. As we move further into 2025, Connecticut currently has about 34,000 weekly unemployment filers and over 70,000 open positions. It's estimated at this point 2,300 payroll jobs were added in January. Morgan Cunningham, WTIC 1080 News.
And some Connecticut car owners will be showing off first-in-the-nation pizza-themed license plates. They will display a pizza slice, a logo of Connecticut Food Share, and the words, "The Pizza State." It's the idea of New Haven pizza guru Colin Kaplan, who says the pizza state boast is worthwhile.
Part of the purpose of this plate is to rally Connecticut people and sort of deter New Yorkers from thinking they got the best.
All right, the limited batch of 500 plates, $75 or $145 for a vanity plate. You can get them at tasteofnewhaven.com and click Pizza License Plates. Wall Street, the Dow finished the week up 674 points. NASDAQ gained 451. The S&P was up 117. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
ZipRecruiter is the place. ZipRecruiter is the place for talented teachers, savvy software developers, and master
Bill
mixologists.
P., I think you're
ZipRecruiter is the
100%
place
right on
where you
that
meet
one.
all these people and more. That's because ZipRecruiter is the place for job seekers who are looking for new opportunities. In fact, ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day, so you can find the right candidates right away. It's no wonder that ZipRecruiter is the place for skilled skydiving instructors, accomplished airbrush artists, and proficient pediatricians. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter to hire, you're missing out. ZipRecruiter is the place that's so confident it can make your hiring easier that it lets you try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. So if you want the right candidates for all your roles, ZipRecruiter is the place to go. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com.
Here we go.
Never
Yes,
miss
sir.
out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
The airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. Now, you're going to hear about it.
All right, it's the last hour of the show, and you know that it is time for me to promote the last but not least caller of the day. That means near the end of the show, and you know when it happens, roughly about 5:42, get on the phones or wait it out, whatever. But the point is that with you get to be the last caller, and you win a dozen bagels a month for 6 months, courtesy of Between Rounds, the Bagel Bakery and Sandwich Cafe, who I'm almost positive is going to get me a peanut butter and jelly sandwich in my name. They're located in South Windsor, Vernon, and Manchester. So even if you're not a person who calls the show regularly, let me say it this way, because I thought about this yesterday. There are a lot of you who don't call in. You'll send me a message. You're like, Reese, I listen to you every day. I don't call in. I'm not exactly sure why you write it, but I understand. Most people do not, they don't like hearing themselves on the radio. They have a job that they're concerned about. If they hear me on the radio, they, hey, I heard you on the radio the other day. I get it. You don't have to call and talk about politics. You don't have to call and talk about anything. All you have to do is call and say, hey, when you win, you just say, hey. And you can say stuff like, I love the show. Roland's a great guy. Congratulations on winning your Emmys, which I always like to tease him about. You don't have to say anything political. You might even think it was like even listening to the show might get you in some trouble. Don't worry about it. It doesn't. Nobody can be mad at you for listening to the show. It's a great show. I know because I get messages about it all day. So what I'm saying is don't be shy. Just call up, be the last but not least caller of the day. And guess what? If you don't get to be the last but not least caller of the day, and I'm going through the phone lines, and you say, did I win? And I go, I'm sorry. And I'll say, but you can at least say something. You can go, nah, no problem. Love the show. And then bounce. It's that simple. That's all. Okay? So I'm trying to get you, because a lot of you say, I want to call, but I can't call. Well, this is your opportunity to call. And you don't have to reveal anything about your politics. See how that works? It's fun. And you might even be able to give a shout out to Mark Christopher, who's in the BPS Traffic Center. Mark would like that, right, Mark?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And people love Mark Christopher. It's like, I have no idea. My chat room is always filled with love Mark, crazy about it. One person said yesterday, I've been listening to Mark give the traffic for years. So they rely on you. So you've got huge fandom.
Well, the love is reciprocal. I love my job. I love doing this every day, and I'm glad we can help you out to get around. That's what it's all about.
That's
and
what
have
it's
a little
all
fun
about.
at the same time.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Reese, thank you very much. Well, we do have a crash, 91 northbound. It's just before exit 22, the Route 9 interchange in Cromwell. It's on the right shoulder, so look for delays kicking back to exit 21 behind that. Once you get around that, good ride Hartford up into Windsor. Southbound 91 delays 33 down to 32 A and B, and again down by exit 28. You'll see another bump as you move from Middletown into Meriden, 91 southbound as you approach 20 down to exit 17 in the Wilbur-Cross Parkway. Westbound 84 is tied up approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to 45 Flatbush Avenue. If you're eastbound 84, delays from exit 43 Park Road down into the tunnel. 291, 384 okay. 2 westbound slowing exit 4 to the 84 West merge in East Hartford. Middletown's okay, 9 in the Aragodi Bridge. If you're heading toward Waterbury, westbound 84, sluggish stop and go from 26 in Cheshire all the way up to between 17 and 16 as you head in toward Southbury. 84 eastbound is sluggish from 16 in Southbury up to exit 18 in Waterbury. If you're traveling 84 eastbound in Danbury, delays 3 to 5. And again, 84 eastbound, you've got delays from 8, sluggish up to exit 11 in Newtown. Southbound on the Parkway, look for slow traffic from exit 62 down into the West Rock Tunnel. 91 southbound delays from exit 4 in toward the 95 interchange. And 95 southbound, you're tied up from exit 46 in New Haven down to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8s. WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Well, as we head through the rest of this afternoon, it will be mostly sunny across the area. Nice and mild out there as well, with highs ranging from 62 to 65. A few clouds around this evening, followed by late night low clouds. We'll head down to a low of 42 degrees and some clouds around for tomorrow morning. Those clouds will clear up for some afternoon sunshine tomorrow with a high of 59. Then still mild out there tomorrow night. Plenty of clouds, low 49. Sunday turns out mostly cloudy, windy and rather warm with a shower in places. High Sunday 64. Then there can be periods of rain and even a heavy thunderstorm Sunday night as a potent storm system moves through the region. And as we head into Monday, rain continuing at times in the morning, otherwise turning out cloudy and drying out in the afternoon with a high Monday up to 59. Right now it's 61 in Unionville, 60 degrees in Tolland, and 61 in Hartford. This is meteorologist Isaac Longley in the WTIC Weather Center.
Join us this Sunday for Tumulo Financial, your go-to for retirement planning and taxes. Tune in to the father and son duo from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. or catch the replay from 5 to 6 p.m. Tumulo Financial Retirement Planning with Integrity on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Hi, this is Eric Hogarth from Money Wisdom. Tune in this week and every week to learn more about how to strengthen your portfolio or how to create a 5-star retirement plan. Tune in to Money Wisdom, Saturdays at 8:30 on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Choose Syntec Full Synthetic Motor Oil, formulated for today's engines only at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Get 5 quarts of Syntec Full Synthetic and a MicroGuard Select filter for just $32.99 in-store only. Limits apply. Learn more at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group. And I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney. And the truth is, I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney or if I look like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. At Wesley, we've helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshare without me being an attorney. And I want to share with you how we do it. Just give my office a call, and you will not talk to an attorney. And I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare, or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free information kit. 800-714-9090. 800-714-9090. 800-714-9090.
Tired of hearing scary?
1 minute.
IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-488-1329. That's 800-488-1329.
Do you feel like you're going through life clouded by doubt? Talk to California Psychics. Our trusted and accurate psychics are available 24/7, and we guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Download the app or connect with us at CaliforniaPsychics.com. Right now, new customers get 80% off their first reading.
Here we go.
Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychic.
Reese on the Radio is getting ready to drop some knowledge on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Drop it.
Why does that make me laugh every time you do it?
I love saying it for some reason.
No, every time. It's like I wait for it, in fact. I'm mouthing it as you say, drop it. Anyway, we're back. Reese on the Radio, News Talk 1080 WTIC. I want to get back to Lori in Glastonbury, but I wanted to give her a proper time, or at least enough time for her to talk about DCF. Now, are you talking about this from a perspective of you've had to deal with them or your opinion, Lori? Because I'm interested in that.
I actually work alongside them.
Okay.
Through the agency that I work with.
Okay.
And in their defense, they, and much like Roger was saying earlier, so many of the social workers, there are a lot of good ones, and they are incredibly overworked.
Okay.
They have really high caseloads. And every year, my hope is that when we get a new governor, someone would have the wherewithal to restructure DCF in such a way that would make the system more efficient and create a means for the social workers not to have such large caseloads. And I understand Matt and Bristol's frustration and comments, and I understand people's,
What in particular are you saying about you mean the lack of follow-up that he was discussing?
Yeah, I get it. I think the policy, from what I understand, is that once a child is placed in an adoptive home, they don't really have it's not really in their purview anymore because the child is adopted in a home.
Right.
So it's, the follow-up wouldn't necessarily be there anyway. But, in some of the cases.
I hate to cut you off, Lori, but I'm sorry. It's just like you sometimes you'll say something, and I'm just like, well, I kind of have to ask this question. I know you're saying that once they placed the child, I think I said that to Matt. It was like, I guess they placed the child, and they figured, okay, my hands are washed of it. But the kid is placed. But to Matt's defense here, and I kind of agree with him, is we are taking one child from a volatile, or what they deem a volatile situation, into another for the welfare of the child or the care of the child. Why not follow up just to make sure that, one, the parent or the new parent and the child are meshing, that there aren't any issues that the parent may be having, if not the child might be having, that might warrant a second look at that situation. At least it's sort of like you wouldn't do it. How do I put this? You wouldn't do it with a car, but clearly you do it with a child because that's a human life. Like following up with that. Is there I think that was his pushback to just say, hey, aren't you at least interested in how he's doing in the new environment? We did move a child out of his parents' home. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get that. But, usually the foster parents are they're very well vetted.
Gotcha.
And I'll say this too: a lot of there are foster parents who really do it for the right reasons,
Right.
for the kids, and those people are my superheroes. I value them, and there aren't enough of them. Then there are those who don't have such good reasons. There's more money involved, and
Right.
it's unfortunate. As being someone who works intimately in the system, I do, like I said, it does, and to Roger's point, there is a lot of value. There is a lot of good that is done. And like you said, the cases that stand out are the ones, they're not the majority of the cases.
Right.
The cases that come into the news are more the anomaly.
Right. It's a marble in front of the sun. I mean, that's what it is. I mean, whatever the object is, the shiny object that's in front of your face blocks out the bigger picture. And I totally get that. But I want to address something that you said from the beginning, and probably the most important part of your, I guess, your call, is that you said, having worked with them, that their caseload is overwhelming. Okay, that was the origins of my question of the day was, what do you think it is? So you're telling me, having worked with them, that their caseload is heavy. I might be asking you a question that you can't answer, but I'm going to try anyway. What does it? No. Let me ask the question. I didn't ask the question yet. I wanted to say, because you say their caseload is heavy for each of the agents, or what are they called? Social workers?
Social workers.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, for each of them, their caseload is heavy, which for me, when I say I'm the one of those guys who pulls on the thread, why are they having so many cases? Is it because this sounds like a dire need for DCF if there are so many, if they have a huge caseload for each social worker. I think that there's a root cause to their caseload. Would that not be fair, or would that be quite accurate?
Oh, it would certainly be helpful if fentanyl stopped spilling over our border.
Okay.
I think that but other than that, I don't feel at liberty to give up.
No, I don't. No. In no way. Like I said, if you can't answer that, what my question is to that is, it's clear, because my original question was, the question of the day was, what is the problem? And could it be a myriad of a few? The caseload.
It's a myriad.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a gumbo of a lot of different things that happen.
Yeah. And whenever anybody says gumbo, I immediately think of Roland. He's big on that. But you're right. It's a myriad of different things, because we're talking about a DCF that's overwhelmed with caseload, which then begs the question, why are they inundated with so many cases? What's going on in family lives? Is it an inner city problem? Is it, how many kids are ending up in the caseload or the workload of DCF? What are the primary reasons why kids end up there? Is it because the parent's a drug dealer, or a drug user, I should say, alcoholic, abusive? Like, what are the rates? We don't know any of that, because that information's not sort of told to us. It's very private, because if I know that I've got 60% of the kids that end up in DCF or across their desk, if 60% we find out were because of parents who are drug users, okay, good, we got a starting point. If we find out that 60% is because of physical abuse, okay, good, we have a root cause. We have something to, essence, stem the tide of those people that ended up in DCF care, if you get my meaning.
Yeah, no, I understand. I think it just, again, I don't feel at liberty to share a lot.
I don't want you to.
It is a myriad, and ultimately, Reese, I mean, people are broken.
Yeah,
people are broken, and that's why kids end up in the system. And I think we can kind of put a blanket. I feel comfortable enough to put that blanket statement. We as a general society, race, the human race, we're broken.
Yeah.
And
we're seeing a lot more people go down this path than ever before, because you believe it's just a more broken society. I think it's a more permissible society that allows that rot, that cultural rot, to permeate is exactly what's going on. And, you know, I remember when I was a kid, they were inundated. That was the same problem they had at BCW when I was growing up, was that a lot of people's caseloads were overwhelming. And, you know, and I don't think that problem's ever been remedied, but I think primarily it's because we're not inside finding out where are we seeing the problem. Because the problems that are happening in DCF originate outside of it. If you get, you know what I'm saying? It's like, why are they ending up in DCF's care or even across their desk? That's the broader problem. Because we can look at DCF all day. But remember, we wouldn't be here if what was going on in the Sullivan household was addressed first. They'd have never came across DCF's desk if people would have stepped up immediately and got that kid out of there when it was relevant to. So, but I thank you, Lori. And I know you couldn't give much, but thank you for at least defending them. I understand your defense of them. And again, like I said, I don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. I'm just trying to understand.
Right. No worries. I appreciate your openness to hearing the conversation.
Always a pleasure. Thank you, Lori. God bless you, by the way.
You too. You too.
Bye. I love Lori. Lori's the best. I do. She just, every time I listen to her, I'm just like, and she likes baseball. And she's single, guys. Let's get back to the phones. 860-522-WTIC. Everett is in East Hartford. Hello, Everett.
Hello, Reese. Hey, before we get into your question of the day, I wanted to ask you a couple of questions that are going to make it kind of proves my point of what's going on in our society.
Okay.
I was told by a counselor that fear does not bring respect.
Right.
So I asked her this. I said, do you drive 55 miles an hour down your street? Her answer was no. And I asked her, well, why is that? She goes, well, I might hit somebody and I might get a ticket because I'd be going too fast. I said, so you're telling me you're afraid of hitting a child. You're afraid of getting a ticket. So therefore, you listen to that law. Your light bulb goes out in your house. You change the light bulb. It doesn't work. You turn a circuit breaker on and off. It doesn't work. You get a screwdriver and go touch your electricity. Again, the answer was no. I asked her why. She goes, well, if I touched it, I would get a shock. I said, therefore, you know that you have a limit. You stop because you know there is going to be consequences to your action. You are afraid. So therefore, you do not touch it.
Indeed.
So fear does bring respect. So when I spanked my child on the bottom with an open hand and told them no, I was not abusing my child.
Indeed.
They were too young to understand. I could not sit down and do a 5-minute conversation of why what they were doing was wrong because they wouldn't understand it.
Right.
I give them a whack in the bottom and tell them no and give them a timeout.
That's right.
And stand my ground. And I have adult people that are my children. They're not children anymore. They're adults. They have jobs. They fulfill their responsibilities.
It's almost using a primitive
5-year-old for 25 years.
It's a primitive approach to a basic norm. That's all it is. It's a and I don't use the word primitive pejoratively. I'm just saying that when you're dealing with a child that you cannot reason with, an adult you can reason with. You can say, "Don't do this because that is bad." And an adult child you can do that. Not a child.
Right. Well, the point I'm trying to make is this. DCF tends to be overworked for one of many reasons, but one of them is children that didn't get their way and mom or dad or their legal guardian put their foot down, and that child had a hissy fit and accused the parents of threatening them. And that's, you don't even have to put your hand on your child. If your child says he's afraid to go home, and the school has to, by law, call DCF. Therefore, you have to be investigated. I think that, if my child got in trouble at school and they were going to send a note home because they were going to be suspended for 3 days, I think the child should be afraid to go home. Not because of physical violence, but because they got in trouble at school and they're going to be grounded.
Right. Yeah, you're right. And someone should be able, especially in DCF, especially because they're adults, to reason that that claim.
How come they don't trust the counselor at school to freaking make that call before they freaking call DPS?
Such a good
because
point.
the school is so afraid to be sued. They got to change the rulings in here. And if you're going to hire a counselor that's competent, that you have faith in.
Yeah, I agree. You're right.
Would you have a series of counselor after counselor after counselor, and it goes nowhere?
Yeah. I totally get it. Everett, thank you. That is a very, very important approach because there are those, quote unquote, maybe they are inundated with cases like you just described, things that are overblown. Thank you for your call, man. I appreciate that. It's been a while, Everett. Thank you for calling back.
You're welcome.
All right, buddy. Bye. Such a good point. You do have those cases too. That's what we call an unnecessary investigation. Do they call those false positives or positive? I don't know what they're called. I'm spitballing. Anyway, let's get another check of our traffic and our weather. Mark Christopher, he's in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, buddy.
Hey, Reese, thank you very much. Well, if you're westbound 84 coming into downtown Hartford right now, look for delays approaching the Bulkley Bridge. Not too bad at all. 84 eastbound is slowing now, approaching 44 Prospect Oakwood up to 46 Sisson Avenue downtown. Southbound side of 91's a little tight.
Hey, Roland, tell Carolyn to hold on to
A and B. And again, you'll see some slow traffic approaching
bottom of the hour break
Meriden down to 17.
Okay.
Parkway, northbound 91, a little slow by 22 in Cromwell. After that, you'll see a little slow traffic up in Windsor, 35 up to 36. 291, 384, okay, 2 eastbound, moving well, Glastonbury to Marlborough, quiet Middletown. If you are heading into Waterbury, westbound 84 is tied up 26 in Cheshire, up to between exits 17 and 16 as you head into Southbury. 84 eastbound slowing just after 16 up to 18 in Waterbury. 84 eastbound Danbury sluggish traffic 8 in Danbury up to exit 11 in Newtown on the eastbound side of 84. Southbound Parkway slowing 62 into the West Rock Tunnel. Northbound Parkway some tight traffic now approaching 59 into the West Rock Tunnel. 95 southbound delays 46 to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8s WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Well, as we head through the rest of this afternoon, it'll be nice and mild. We'll see plenty of sunshine with a high temperature up to 62. Then a few clouds around this evening, followed by late night low clouds building into the area. We'll have a low temperature of 42. Clouds will be clearing out for some sunshine tomorrow. Another mild day as we head up to a high of 59. It'll be mild tomorrow night with plenty of clouds, low 49. Rather cloudy on Sunday, windy and warm with a shower in spots. The high of 64. This is meteorologist Isaac Longley in the WTIC Weather Center.
And now, a WTIC News Update.
5:30, good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Injuries have been reported after a small aircraft went down this afternoon in the town of Deep River. Crash occurred in the woods near Cedar Lake Road. The extent of those injuries, though, not yet known. Attorney for a woman accused of holding her now adult stepson in their Waterbury home for decades says his client is innocent. In the meantime, the now 32-year-old man is receiving medical and dental care. He weighed only 68 pounds when he was pulled from his burning home last month, a fire he told authorities he deliberately set as a means to escape. Senate nearing a key vote as lawmakers look to avoid a partial government shutdown. Just a few hours left on the midnight deadline. At least 8 Democrats, including Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer, one of the 2 Democrats right now have voted or are going to vote in the affirmative. They need at least 8 to join Republicans to get that 60-vote threshold. State Department of Labor releasing its 2024 year-end jobs report showing 16,000 jobs added to the rolls between December of 2023 and last year. Man remains in the hospital after he was injured in a motorcycle crash Thursday in Berlin. Officers say 34-year-old Christopher Paul of New Britain was seriously injured in that crash at Farmington Avenue and Lower Lane. Norwich man facing home invasion charges following an incident last fall. They say Ronnie Hinton is being charged in the October invasion. Police say Hinton has a long history of violence and was released from prison in 2023 after serving 33 years on a homicide rap. Markets finished the week up. The Dow was gaining 674 points. NASDAQ topped 451 and the S&P gained 117. Men's college basketball tonight, Madison Square Garden. It's the Big East Tournament semifinal. Number 3 seed UConn against second-seeded Creighton with a 9 p.m. tip-off. The Celtics are in Miami in the NBA tonight. In the NHL, Edmonton faces the Isles. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Every sandwich has bread, every burger has a bun, but these warm, golden, smooth steam buns, these are special, reserved for the very best. The Filet-O-Fish. And you can have them too.
And you can have it all at 2 for $6, like a Filet-O-Fish, Big Mac, 10-piece McNuggets, or large fries. Limited time only. Price and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer. Single item at regular price.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
If your air conditioner and furnace are over 10 years old, they've pretty much gone to the dogs. But at Ayala Home Services, we can fetch you a free furnace with our 2-for deal. For a limited time, when you purchase a new air conditioning system, you receive a free furnace. We also offer free, no-obligation estimates for these new systems. Call, click, or text and say hello, ALO. Call for details. Licensed for safety. P1027768AD, D1040145, E1185643, S3308699, HIC 628926, SM3004646, HOD 635, HOD 223.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, and...
One minute.
Everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-700-6898. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800.
Here we go.
898, 800-700-6898 or biglou.com.
The airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. Now, you're going to hear about it.
We're going to get to your phone calls soon enough if you'd like to call in and if you'd like an opportunity to win a dozen bagels a month for 6 months, courtesy of Between Rounds. Give us a call at 860-522-WTIC. Let's go to Carolyn, see if I can get her in for a couple of minutes. She just called in. Hello, Carolyn. How are you?
I'm just fine, Reese. I thoroughly enjoy your program. And I was listening to most of it, but then I got caught in a phone call. I just want to say I think things have changed drastically, where a long time ago, like my oldest grandson will be 30 next month.
Okay.
His sister is 15 months younger. He was Spider-Man in his mind. He could get out of that house no matter what my son did. And he would, unlock the door. He'd unchain this, unchain that. And one morning, he and his sister got up in their underwear. It was summer. They're outside, and the lady across the street saw them. Now, I think nowadays people would say, oh, boy, call the cops.
Yeah.
Because no parents are there. She called them over, had them sit on the porch, and said, let's wait for Mommy and Daddy to wake up.
Wow.
She probably gave them a little snack, too, because
Right.
I think people then weren't so concerned about what's allergic and what's not. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, sure.
But I just think it was such a nice thing to do. And I think when I grew up, well, I'm 83, but when I grew up, neighbors were helpful, not trying to turn people in.
You know what? There's an interesting thing. As you were sharing your story there about two kids, they're young, they wake up, they're playing outside because, again, they're fearless. That's what kids are. They're fearless. They think nothing of it. They know the neighbors. If they think they're safe enough, they'll go outside and think nothing of it. And, of course, a concerned neighbor goes, listen, where's Mom and Dad? Oh, they're sleeping. We got out of the house. Okay, sit here, blah, blah, blah. Nobody thinks anything of it. Let's wait until they outside and she watches them. Now, I want you to think about that. And think about the story we just covered maybe about a month or two ago, if not very early in the year. No, it was last year. I apologize. It was back then. It was part of one of our stupidest things that I read today. This was the story about the mother who was hauled off to jail because she allowed her 15-year-old son to walk down the road by himself. Did you remember that story?
I sort of do, Reese.
Yeah.
I sort of do.
Remember that?
How,
And
ridiculous.
Yeah, and not only that, I remember the same story. There was a woman, I want to say it was Barry Weiss. No, it wasn't Barry Weiss. I apologize. It was a story in the New York Times many moons ago. I want to say early 2000s. And a woman had written the article in the New York Times about her 12-year-old son that she was teaching to navigate in the New York City subways. Now, don't get me wrong. Today, this would be considerably frowned upon. But at the time, although New York is dangerous, a 12-year-old boy, 13 years old, navigating through the subway so he can go to school, wasn't all that crazy because we were doing that with our teenage kids through New York. They were taking the Jersey. We were living in Jersey. They took the Jersey Transit to school. But it wasn't unheard of. But this woman wrote this article about teaching her son how to navigate the city on the subway. Well, the comment section went nuts on her. Freaked out, called her all types of horrible mother stories. And that's when I understood exactly what the last caller was talking about. The DCF inundation, or as Lori was talking about being inundated by those stories, is particularly because of stories like you just said, not handling those situations the right way and turning a mountain into out of a molehill. So thank you, Caroline. I'm glad that you held for me. I appreciate you.
Hey, Reese, one more thing.
Real quick.
I think when you call DCF, you call anonymously.
That's correct. That
totally
also
wrong.
allows you to do that. That's 100% right. Thank you, Caroline. I appreciate that. That's a good point. Let's get another check of our roads with Mark Christopher. He's in the BPS Traffic Center. Sorry for holding you up, buddy.
Oh, no problem. As you're heading into Hartford right now, you are going to see delays westbound side of 84 approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to 45 Flatbush. 84 eastbound is a sluggish and stop and go. 44 Prospect Oakwood down to the Bulkley Bridge. Southbound 91 losing a little speed at 33 Jennings Road. And then again, you'll see a bump as you move down, approaching 19 down to 17 in Meriden. Northbound 91's a little slow by the Route 9 interchange in Cromwell. After that, good ride Hartford up into Windsor. 291 through 84, that looks good. 2 eastbound's okay. Glastonbury to Marlboro. Quiet Middletown, 9 in the Aragoni Bridge. Sluggish stop and go. 26 in Cheshire on the westbound side of 84 through Waterbury out to between 17 and 16 as you head into Southbury. 84 eastbound, some sluggish in stop and go traffic approaching 17 up to 18 in Waterbury. 84 eastbound in Danbury slowing 8 out to exit 11 in Newtown. Southbound Parkway delays 62 in North Haven down to exit 59. And northbound on the Parkway, some slow traffic approaching 59 into the West Rock. 95 South New Haven slows 46 to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Sunshine mixing with a few clouds as we head through the rest of this afternoon. It'll be nice and mild out there as well, with highs ranging from 62 to 65. And clear to partly cloudy this evening, followed by late night low clouds expanding into the area. We'll head down to a low of 42. And some morning clouds around tomorrow will break up for some sunshine. Another mild day, high 59, and still quite mild out there for tomorrow night. There will be plenty of clouds around as well. Low tomorrow night down to 49. And as we head on into Sunday, mostly cloudy skies, turning windy and warm with a shower in places. The high Sunday 64, rain and even a heavy thunderstorm can occur Sunday night as a powerful storm moves through the region. And as we head into Monday, rain at times in the morning, otherwise cloudy and drying out for the afternoon hours with a high on Monday of 59. Right now it's 61 in Canton, 60 degrees in Granby, and 61 in Hartford. This is meteorologist Isaac Longley in the WTIC Weather Center.
Tune in to WTIC News Talk 1080 for Healthy Rounds, Saturday mornings 11 till noon. Learn from the top experts about the latest medical news and call in with your questions. Healthy Rounds, sponsored by Hartford Healthcare, Saturday mornings 11 till noon on WTIC News Talk 1080 and WTIC.com.
If better health, more energy, and detoxing your body are some of your priorities this year, get Active Liver today and start the year off knowing you're giving your liver some well-deserved relief.
You can find Active Liver in stores at your local CVS or online at Amazon or newnordicusa.com.
Is your car still under warranty? No, not anymore. My mechanic just suggested an extended service plan from Ox Car Care.
Ox Car Care?
Yeah, Ox will cover repair bills if anything happens to the car. New brakes, transmission, AC, or engine problems. Plus, Ox Car Care offers free oil changes, tire rotation, and roadside assistance.
Wait,
You pay nothing on repairs. Ox gets it fixed. Free oil changes, free tire rotation, and free roadside assistance.
Yeah, you don't pay. Ox pays. Ox even has a 30-day money-back guarantee and is A+ rated on the BBB. They handle their claims from start to finish, unlike those other warranty companies.
The last thing I need is an unexpected car repair bill. I'm calling Ox Car Care now.
Call Ox Car Care for your free quote. 800-234-2716. Ask about senior and military discounts. Don't get stuck with a major car repair bill. Call Ox Car Care. 800-234-2716. 800-234-2716. Or go to oxcarcare.com.
Hey, Green.
1 minute.
You've got a clogged drain in your
Ready to
bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was gonna unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated in the best hearing aids of 2024 by USA Today, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, just $189.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aids.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 500,000 happy customers by going
Here we go.
hearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
What's up, everybody? You know who it is. You know who it is. You know who it is. It's Reese on the Radio. Frederick Douglass of the 21st century.
It's WTIC News Talk 1080.
Okay, so I don't know whether or not this is breaking news. This is insane. So someone in the chat room, one of the scallywags, has written that they know something about where the victim, the Waterbury victim, the 32-year-old, 68-pound, 5'9" kid, that the sister, that they know where the sister works in the chat room. And so I read that and I was like, oh, wow, okay. But they said they knew what kind of work she did. So I didn't really take anything of that. But then I just got another source that just says that, yes, that is what the sister does. The thing that I want to know, and hopefully my source will say it, will tell me if they can find out, is whether or not the sister knew. Like, how do you not know your brother is being, held in hostage inside the house? Like, how do you not know? Who isn't complicit in all of this? It's just very weird. Speaking of DCFs, Tara P in the chat room, one of our lady scallywags, says calling DCF is also a form of retaliation. Don't like someone, want to give them a hard time, call DCF. DCS has to follow the family for 6 weeks with visits and full background investigation. You're 100% right, Tara. 100% right. Try this on for size. You know how everyone's talking about being swatted, right? A lot of conservatives getting swatted. Well, this has already happened to my wife and I. We've only lived in this house a year, just over a year, and this happened. To freak you out. So the police, one time over the Christmas holiday, we were going down to the corner store. We drove. So it's myself, of course, my wife. I'm always driving. She never drives. The boy and his girlfriend, or at the time, they had just broken up. So his former girlfriend. They had stayed with us for Christmas. So we drive down to the corner store. It's about 6-7 minutes away. And we're driving down there. We get an alert on our alarm system that someone is at our front door. So, of course, we can look, as many of you have, that little security system. You can see who's at your front door. You can even answer it. I go to answer it, and I go, whoa, what the hell? What is the police doing here? So when we come back, we call the police and like, what are you doing at our house? Well, their response was someone had called for a welfare check on 2 children. What? Well, it turns out that the 2 children or the person they were looking for weren't children in our house at all. They said that the wife of that particular individual they were coming to look for, that the children were staying with him, and the wife was calling a welfare check on the children. And we're like, okay, fine. Paying mind to it. Just 2-3 weeks ago, another police officer's at our front door. And we don't know anybody really in the neighborhood other than our people who live nearby, and they usually text us or call us before they come by. So we get a random knock at the door. Boom, 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 boom. I look through the peephole. It's a police officer. Hi, officer. Can we help you? Yeah, we're here for a welfare check. Same person sent to our house. Same person they were looking for those two children's house. And we're like, this is the second time that happened. And we like, can we call them and let them know whoever it is that's sending them to this address? And when I say our house is new, it hasn't been here 2 years physically on this road. Hasn't been here. Like Google didn't have us as an address a year ago. So I thought that was odd. So interesting that you say that, Tara. That's, anybody can just call anyone on anybody's house. And it's dangerous. It's dangerous. So imagine what you could do. To the phones we go. Don't forget you can call up. Last but not least, call over the day. Get on the phones right now. 860-522-WTIC. 860-522-9842. You could win a dozen bagels a month for 6 months. Courtesy between rounds. Let's go to Steve in Waterbury. Hey, Steve.
Hey, Reese. Yeah, I could go for a welfare check myself. It worked for a while.
Have you ever experienced that at all? Like, I have plenty of people who have had that happen to them, and it must be the company I keep. It's always an ex-girlfriend.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
No, I've been pretty fortunate that way.
Good luck to you. Anyway, what's up?
One thing I just want to mention, you ever think of maybe interviewing the people who own Between Rounds on your program?
I would love to. In fact, you know what? It's funny because I've been trying to get them to do something like that where, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it in store, although that wouldn't be bad. Maybe I would do it in store. That might be fun too. I'll talk bagels all day. But yeah, I would love to have them on the air and talk about Between Rounds, how they started, how they became a chain. Because that's, as a business owner, that was one of the things that I wanted to do. I finally became a chain, so I'm really excited about that. I'd love to talk to them. Why do you ask?
Well, no, I did a little research on them. I guess the father of the two brothers had a business in New Jersey, if I'm not mistaken. They kind of modeled it after that and kind of grew from there. So I just thought maybe it'd be kind of interesting, especially if, you're promoting them all the time.
Oh, yeah. Well, I would love, you know what? You're right. Those types of family businesses, starting from the dad and moving on to the sons, is always interesting to me. I will tell you, if I can, kind of off the beaten path, based on that same premise with the father owning a company and then moving on to the sons. If you get a chance, if you're ever interested, if you're really into that kind of intrigue, go look up the story of the company U-Haul. Go look up, because it's family owned, the Shones. Joe Shone is the CEO now. I think he stepped down. I think he gave it to one of his kids. But Joe Shone, go look up his family dynamic. When I tell you it sounds like the season premiere of Dallas or Dynasty, it is crazy. The father versus the sons who were rivals. There are two sons who believe that the other sons are responsible for the dad's death. It was lawsuits and everything. It's one of the most compelling stories. And I was one of those guys where if I was concerned about the experience I had for a job, like if I wasn't sure, I want to make sure that when I go in for this job, maybe I should know something about it. So I did a lot of research about U-Haul before I did, and I stumbled on this story about how U-Haul came to be. They started after World War II. Hey, it's got to be a great story. And then I dug into this well, and I went, wow.
That sounds very interesting. Three things just to clarify.
Yeah.
The father didn't start him in business, but they emulated, or at least the one brother emulated what the father was doing in New Jersey. And then I guess the brother had joined in. I kind of like to look at people that are successful and kind of live life backwards to how they got through things.
Yeah.
I think it's very educational. You always hear people, they're overnight successful. That's really, fallacy.
It's always the ones that they say is an overnight success, but then when you dig deeper, it's like 20 years of hard work and blood, sweat, and tears. right? It's never as overnight as you think.
Absolutely. And I just wanted to say that, when I was growing up, I remember being home alone at 3.
Wow.
I remember my brother coming home from kindergarten. I mean, we had neighbors by and stuff, but I was very independent, and, I had good parents. They both were workers, hard workers and stuff. But it was just kind of like,
I'm sorry, how old were you when you were home alone?
I remember being 3 years old because I remember my brother, waiting for him to come home from kindergarten.
And how old? And wait a minute, your brother was coming home from kindergarten. That's like 6. At 5 at best.
He was like 2.5 years older than me, so he's like, that's how I.
Holy moly! I will tell you this, Steve. You remember this if you paid attention to it, because it was probably one of the most, biggest stories in the world, because I don't think it was solved until sometime around like 2014, maybe even earlier. Somebody correct me in what's the name? It was a young kid, Prince Street, Broadway, a young man by the name of Eitan Potts. Does that ring a bell?
Sounds kind of familiar,
Yeah.
but I can't.
Well, if you saw it any other day, you would have called the kid Ethan, because I think that he's a Jewish kid, but Eitan, E-T-A-N, is in essence Ethan. It's Jewish, but
Gotcha.
Eitan was his name. So Eitan Potts changed the world. If I'm right, and I'm almost positive I am on this, he was the first child to end up on a milk carton.
Oh, really?
I'm almost certain of this. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. In fact, I might be wrong, but I know that he was one of the first. In fact, I will go milk carton. I'll even look it up now just to be sure. Milk carton, and I've got to do this. Milk carton missing. And I'm almost positive that the first kid that was ever on there he is. There he is.
I got a funny little story. Little story about that. They always had like jokes about like happiness of seeing your boss's picture on the side of a milk carton. So I actually had taken one of my managers and put it on a copy machine and imprinted it on the milk carton just for a joke.
Well, Eitan Potts, the interesting part about his story was he was going in Manhattan, of all places, and if you've ever even seen Manhattan on television, in your head you'll say to yourself, that seems crazy. But Eitan left his home off Prince Street to go to the corner to take his school bus to school, and he was never seen again. Because back then, even in 1973, no, what was that? I was born in 69, so I want to say 76. Yeah, 76, 77. I walked to school, and I was born in 1969. So in 76, I was walking to school by myself with a crossing guard at the age of 6 years old in the first grade. So it was not unheard of for a kid like Eitan to be walking to school by himself, because kids did that to the bus stop. It was but now, as I said earlier when I was talking to Carolyn, the woman who had her kid on the subway at 12 years old, parents lost their minds. But that used to be a normal thing.
Right, yeah, exactly.
So it's just wild. But thank you, buddy. I appreciate your call. And you're right, I am going to look them up now. Now you've got me intrigued, so now I have to look them up. Thank you, buddy.
I'll touch base with you later. Have a good weekend.
You got it. And you know what? Because of that call, I guess we have to say the last but not least caller of the day for the weekend is Tony in Hebron. How we doing, buddy?
Good. Hey, did they pass the budget?
I understand that vote's not going to take place until tonight, but we do know that Chuck Schumer has buckled, and the Democrats are furious. So I don't know if the bill passed or yet. I don't even think the vote's going to take place until it's probably taking place now, if anything.
Did Maxine Waters get a new wig yet?
No. You ain't right. You are not right. But you know what?
$50. $50 for the first person who pulls their wig off.
All right, stand by. Stand by. We'll get you on hold so we can get you your dozen bagels, courtesy of Between Rounds, the Bagel Bakery and Sandwich Cafe, located in South Windsor, Manchester, and Vernon. I just got a text message on Monday. We are going to be speaking to, and let me get this open because I just got a confirmation, Senator Jason Perillo is going to be on Monday to talk about DCF. This was the quote that the senator said. He said, their responsibility, talking about DCF, is to make sure this gets addressed. And if folks still work there, we need to hear from them. If they are people who work there and don't now, we need to hear from them too. So we'll talk to him about that, what he thinks the issues are, and maybe see if we can guide him in the right direction as far as to finding out why things like this are happening inside DCF. If they're overloaded, why are they overloaded? What the root causes of that overload are, what the problems are inside of society that DCF is being called on these cases. Because there are a lot of working parts in all of this that need to be addressed. And if they are, I mean, one of the things that bother me is like DCF is saying that the social workers are overloaded with cases. The first thing will run through my mind is, what the hell do we have going on in Connecticut? Do we have so many DCF cases? Be my first thought. So we'll see if we can talk to him about that. So we'll have him on Monday at 11. Don't forget to check out the Sunday show as well. That airs at 1 o'clock. And again, later on in the day, you can find it at reeseontheradio.com. That's REESE on the radio.com. So I'm actually not working tomorrow, so I will be home with my wife drinking coffee. As I always say, radio is free, so we thank you for paying attention. Remember to keep JC in your hearts and in your minds. Sean Patrick, we love you and we miss you. Remember that panic is not planning, so plan your work and work your plan. Me, I'm retired. You have a good night, a pleasant tomorrow. Mark Christopher, he's in the BPS Traffic Center. Mark, I cannot believe it. I'm not working on a Saturday for the first time in 20 years.
What's going on here?
I know.
Wow.
I'm a layabout. Lazy
Good for
person.
You, no. Have a great weekend. Recharge your batteries. We'll see you Monday.
You got it.
If you're heading into Hartford right now, westbound 84 slowing, approaching the Bulkley Bridge.
Yeah.
I'm a
84
layabout.
eastbound, just losing a little speed.
I'm
as you
nothing
move by
more than a
46th
layabout.
Avenue.
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that, man.
Doing very well now. Cromwell up into Winter Locks.
Yeah, I'll see you on
291,
Monday.
Okay, 2 eastbound. We'll
Enjoy your weekend. May it be full of rest and joy and happiness.
Hey, by the way, find out. Yeah,
19
shut up.
down to exit 17.
Find out whether or not your
and the
homeboy
Wilbercross
liked the
Parkway
Negro nonsense.
in Meriden, westbound 84
We're
sluggish
doing that
traffic,
every
23 in
week, by
Waterbury
the
up to
way.
between 17 and 16 as you head toward.
Oh, were you doing that on Thursdays?
Yeah, on
sluggish
Thursdays.
traffic.
Negro
All right, cool.
nonsense.
18.
All right, I'll talk
84
to you.
Eastbound,
Yes, sir.
slowing between exit 8 and exit 11 on the eastbound side of 84 in Newtown. Southbound Parkway, look.
All right, thank you very much, Michael A. I appreciate it. When I was a fisherman in prep school, I used to take my rifle to school and put it in my locker because I was on a rifle team. Things were different, man. They were different. They were start bowling on the weekend. You know what? I haven't bowled in a while, Michael A. I might. You know what? I could. I've got the time. It's just weird. I'll let you know how it goes my first weekend home. I'll tell you how it goes tomorrow. On Monday. That's what I'll do on Monday. I love you guys. Y'all be good to each other. See you then.